So, welcome to Cub's Corner. As usual, I give directly to Greg because this is his show.
Oh, well, there you go. Toss it to me right off. Okay, so
Yeah.
hello and welcome to this episode of Cub's Corner, a very special episode. We're hoping to have another guest join us, and he's an awesome YouTuber with a great channel. The link is in the description below. Hopefully, he'll make it. Tony, I think. We also have the great dragon Bazzil Broketail with us today. Are you there, Bazzil?
I am indeed.
And from east of the Rockies comes the famous Cat Claw Entertainment. Are you there,
Hi.
Cat Claw? Woohoo!
Hi.
Okay. We definitely got to have a cat with us today because we, among other things, are reviewing the Barbie movie, and I think she had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to see it? Yay! Okay, so we have Cat, we have Bazzil, and of course we have Cub. How are you doing today, Cub?
Yeah, I'm fine. And also, I want to say hello to Movie Massacre. I completely forgot to send him an invite, but he's writing here in the chat that he's listening during working. So but I'm still going to send him an invite on Discord.
Oh yeah, maybe he can sneakily be on the show while at work. That sounds crazy, but if anybody can pull it off, it's MM.
Yeah, but he takes every opportunity to get away from work. I know him.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a lazy fuck, just like me.
I'm not going to comment on that. Do y'all have a comment on that? Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, I also forgot to send Bazzil an invite, but you did that, Greg.
Yeah. You were very forgetful. I didn't get an invite till like 15 minutes before the show.
Yeah,
and then I just sent them off.
Hey, not every stranger gets here an invite. You know that. This is
Yeah,
an exclusive club.
Okay,
Just like your stupid club, you didn't want to let me in. Can you remember? Just for cool people.
That's right. That's right. In my famous German accent, I sometimes do voice work with Cub on his channel. It's a truly atrocious German accent, but Cub seems to like it.
Yeah, and I have proof for that, for this behavior in my Boogeyman review, as you know.
That's correct. So we have a very good list of stuff to go over today. What do we want to start with? I guess Star Trek Season 2, Strange New Worlds. I didn't really want to go over it episode by episode. We kind of did that on the first part of the season. You got a good flavor for how we feel about the series. They went with singing Klingons. I was defending them. I was in there swinging, fighting against Cub is constant attack. Cub, is right. Some of these episodes are terrible, but did you ever get a chance to watch Hell on Wheels? Any of y'all with Anson Mount?
No.
But I remember it.
But I watched one episode, I think, so I know what it is.
Okay, so
wasn't
anyway,
it on AMC?
Yeah, I think so. It's basically the story after the Civil War. There's a Southerner, and he has revenge against certain people, but he can't do anything because his circumstances. So he joins the railroad building, and they're building it across the country. Anyway, I didn't want to do a review on Hell on Wheels, but I liked Hell on Wheels. It was a good series, and Anson Mount, who's Pike in the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, he is the star of Hell on Wheels, and I think Anson Mount's the best actor they've had in the Trek series since Enterprise,
the guy
I guess.
Since the guy from Discovery here. What's his name?
Discovery's not Trek.
No, the bad guy here who played a villain in Discovery in the first season.
I've blotted Discovery from my mind. Discovery, I don't consider that to be Star Trek.
No, the captain from Discovery, the captain from the guy from the first season.
Okay,
was a good actor. He was
in a terrible series, and it's really hard to judge it. But okay, I do enjoy the. Yeah, you're right about him. But what I like about Anson Mount, you know, he brings perhaps it's because he's Southern. Perhaps I'm looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. But I like the way he's making like breakfast for the crew, and he brings it back because even 1,000 years in the future, you're still gonna have to make breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Greg,
some of the episodes were terrible. Some were watchable.
I would say let's go through the worst ones. First off, the second season of Stranger Worlds showed exactly what I was saying the whole time, that this is total unwatchable garbage, because they went completely off the rails in the second season. Or wouldn't you agree on that?
They departed from canon.
Yes, and
they had some horrible episodes.
Yeah,
they also had some that they had some parts of some episodes that felt like Star Trek, and Picard season 3 felt like Star Trek, and some episodes of Strange New Worlds season 1 and 2. Now it's hit and miss. It's 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, but they're watchable. They're like, okay, this was a decent episode. So all I'm saying, I can recommend it partially. It's hit and miss. I didn't want to say which episodes I liked or didn't, because I like people to judge for themselves. But Cub, he thinks it's all total direct.
Yes.
Now, Bazzil, we watched some of the Gorn episodes last year and some of the stuff this year. What do you think about season 2 of Trek, Bazzil?
It's not too bad. I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, there were some highlights of some stupid stuff, but overall, it's worth watching.
Okay, so we got 2 votes. Have you had a chance to see it, Cat Claw?
No, I haven't.
You haven't missed anything.
He loves that. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was very happy with that response.
So let's mention some of the crap in this season. First off,
let's go through it.
I didn't want to watch it through. I was struggling, and really it was a real struggle and especially the last episodes were terrible. But it already started for me to fade out here with the 4th episode, I think, the one with the time travel. Can you remember that?
Oh yeah, where the what is it? The great granddaughter of Khan.
The great granddaughter, which is already a canon break. That she's the granddaughter of Khan is doesn't go along with canon. Doesn't make any sense. But she went.
No, he was a ruthless dictator from Asia, Eurasia or something, if I remember the original. And there was no mention of him being married or having children or anything. Not in the TV show, not in any of the books I read. Now, I'm a Star Trek guy, so I read all this stuff through the decades. I never saw anything until, like Cub says, they decide to change it now. But I don't think this is the same universe that originally we had the original TOS, I guess they call it. The original series?
Because in this episode, they even say that it is a different universe. Because can you remember? She goes back through time and works together with Kirk. And she
and Kirk gets killed.
Yeah, and they mention there that there was something different in the past. There was a bridge was
That's right.
blown
They
up.
do mention that.
Yeah, a bridge was blown up, and they don't change that. So it's a different timeline anyway, because all the things they do is after that. So the thing that was already not in the original canon timeline is still changed. So it can't be the same timeline.
That's true. But let me submit to you that they've already previously in the 90s changed the Khan timeline, because Voyager went back to the mid 90s, which was easy for them. They did that because it was cheap to shoot and they didn't care about canon. But according to the 1960s Star Trek, by the 90s, that's when the Third World War happened. That's when Khan had taken over Asia. So you have several aspects of why they're breaking canon. They show Khan in Strange New Worlds, but they have him in 2023 being 8 years old when he was supposed to be in his 30s or 40s in the 1990s. So this is not the same Khan. This is not the same timeline, or something is totally messed up.
Yes, and also, isn't it strange that they always go to the same people? They always go to Spock, to Kirk, or to Khan, exactly like Jar Jar Abrams did. So this secret hideout, what a Kurtzman track, which is supposed to be something different than the stupid Kelvin track here from Jar Jar Abrams. This is supposed to be something different, but for some reason it does the same things. Because again, we have
lazy writing.
Yeah, we have messing with Spock's character the whole time, and we have Kirk in there, and we have Khan in there. The only people that they know from Star Trek.
Let's discuss why this is happening to Star Trek. I submit to you that the original Star Trek used science fiction writers, well-known science fiction writers who were good at their craft, and they were able to craft good stories. And even if they had a political message against racism or this or that, they did it within the context of the story. The people that you're having as writers now, they have no life experience. They haven't written science fiction novels. To write a science fiction novel back in the 50s or 60s was a totally different thing, and it was very difficult, and science fiction was looked down upon. My dad was a big science fiction reader, and anytime he tried to talk about it, or they found out that he liked any science fiction, they always assumed it was like Martians with big antennas, who they assumed it was the stupidest form of writing possible, when actually it was quite advanced. So advanced, he couldn't even talk to people about it. He said when he was in the 40s and he was talking about radioactivity after the bomb, people were thinking it had something to do with the radio. They were not very sophisticated. I'm not kidding. They were not very sophisticated.
Yeah, and
they thought radar was some kind of magic thing that could see everything you did. I'm not kidding.
So there are two characters in this show, in Strange New Worlds, that completely destroy the Star Trek feeling for me, because they are not Star Trek characters. First off,
and who is that?
Let's talk about the worst one. It's this female chick.
The short-haired girl who runs the bridge, the navigator.
Yeah, the navigator. The navigator. She doesn't behave at any second like a Star Trek officer. Like somebody
she doesn't do military protocol.
Nothing at all. No, she doesn't.
And what do you think Kirk would do if she mouthed off on his bridge?
She has to leave the bridge so fast, faster than light speed. And also the other not Star Trek character is the stupid doctor. Here, this Jamaican guy.
The black guy.
The black guy. And he also, the thing that really bugs me is we have already had some interesting doctor characters on starships, like in Voyager or in here the Holodoc,
or Enterprise or the original Dr. McCoy. I mean, the classic.
In Enterprise, we had an alien as a doctor, and these were always interesting characters. At least they have to behave like a normal Starfleet, or they have something interesting going on with them. But this guy, he's just lazy. This is just lazy. He also doesn't behave at any second like a Starfleet officer.
He has a daughter who has a medical condition, and he keeps her in suspended animation in the transporter. Is that correct? Is that even ethical?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care, because really it doesn't make any sense.
If you don't care, who's going to care? You care about the most technical thing.
Yeah, and also, so these characters, they destroy the show for me completely, and
they destroy it completely. They're just minor little, she's irritating, on the bridge, but you don't find her a little bit charming.
No, and so then the fact that in the second season Spock is completely destroyed, the character, he falls in love with the female doctor, and
he also switches bodies with a girl.
Yeah, the Nurse Chapel, or what's her name, and the whole time he's constantly love struck, or what you call it. He constantly makes stupid decisions and is emotional and whatever, which doesn't make any sense for his character.
That's true.
Yeah, but what was this crossover episode with the animated one, with the animated series?
Oh God, the lower deck thing.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch that one.
Yeah. Was that really necessary? I can tell you, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't necessary. But how did you enjoy the episode where T'Pring, which is his terrible wife from the original series, and I mean, she was really, if you remember Amok Time, it was T'Pring that had him kill his best friend so that she could marry, her lover, and she did it openly, which I don't know. I guess that shows that the women had a lot more power on Vulcan, and some of them were pretty evil, and they could just get away with it. But how did you like how they had Spock and her switch bodies for that episode?
It was torture to sit through, and also the episode where he became human. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
So he became human, and the stupid chicks have to tell him how to be a Vulcan. So he completely forgot what a Vulcan is in any way, just because he became human. That doesn't make any sense. He should even as a human, he still has his memories of his whole life as a Vulcan. So why has anybody to tell him how to behave as a Vulcan? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's very true. But I was going to point out that in one of the episodes in the original series, Spock and Nurse Chapel actually did switch bodies for a short time. It was to fool, I think Sargon was his name. They were in those glowing white balls or whatever. Do you remember that episode? So actually, I thought maybe there was kind of an homage back to that episode in a way.
But you know that they have never seen that episode, correct?
I know they haven't seen it.
You know they have never seen this old episode, and this is just a coincidence. You know that. When they do something similar to the old track, then it's just a coincidence. Nobody of these fucks has ever seen a Star Trek episode.
Maybe, but it's also awesome that I'm able to dredge up these ridiculous connections and try.
They don't even know when they make a Star Trek musical episode that the Klingons have to sing an opera. If they would have done that, then but they don't know even that.
if they had done an opera for the Klingons, I think I would respect them.
Yeah, this is
You
just
know?
a so small detail.
It would have been
every Star Trek
horrible. I
fan
couldn't
knows
have watched it,
Yeah.
but I would respect that artistic choice.
Yeah, but there was no artistic whatsoever in any
Okay,
episode.
but are there any
especially-
episodes that you liked? Let's focus on what you liked and not what you didn't like, because that'll take all day.
No, I couldn't stand any episode, and especially the ones that I hated the most were the Gorn ones, because what they did to the Gorn, for me, they are not supposed to be in that show. The Gorn were first contact they had with Kirk, and it's a shame that they steal that from Kirk. And I can't stand that. And also making the Gorn here this whatever mixture
Animalistic,
from alien or whatever. And also there's a war going on with them. Why didn't they just invent a new race? If they want to do something like that, they could. This is so lazy. Instead of having something on their own, they decide, oh no, let's just call them Gorn because member berries. No, this is just awful. Sorry.
Well, member berries are delicious, but they can choke you if you eat too many, and they're poisonous. So at any rate, you want to get an opinion from me about how they're doing the Gorn. They are doing the Gorn a terrible disservice for the reasons you have mentioned, but I think for another reason. If you look at how the Gorn reacted, the Gorn captain, when he was talking to Kirk, he was like, look, I'll kill you quickly, because he thought it was a binary solution set. You got to kill the captain or you and your ship die. So that was, the Gorn are a little primitive in their thinking, but they're not these animalistic nothings. These Gorn don't think and reason. They've made them into a caricature of the mighty Gorn that we see. He's in a ridiculous rubber suit. Take that away and look at him as an alien captain trying to save his ship, and he does the best he can. He's reasonable. He leaves his own messages. I think the whole purpose, the whole concept of that episode, and it was shown when they talking to the Metrons and Kirk lets him go rather than kill him, was that, hey, these people were trying to defend themselves. Maybe we're looking at it in a way that's not the right way. So maybe we should let them go and reassess. And sometimes it's right to just kill them off. Other times, most of the time, it's better to reassess before you do something like that, especially if it could start an interstellar war. So they're writing about the Gorn. How can you turn that Gorn captain into some sort of animalistic thing that doesn't? The Gorn they have now could not record the stuff and talk back and forth with Kirk. So I submit to you, Cub, that your Star Trek is broken. This is not the Star Trek that we grew up with.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason in the Gorn episode back then with Kirk, the reason why he was in this ridiculous rubber suit, they just wanted to show the audience that there seems to be they seem to have nothing in common. This is just an enemy, like an animal, like a monster, and afterwards it turns out that it's not a monster. And this is the brilliance of the episode.
Exactly. And that's what they're throwing away by turning the Gorn into monsters. They're throwing away, one of the quintessential aspects of Star Trek.
Yeah, this is really, and as I said, this is just lazy. Because why the hell can't this be another species? Something new, something own. Then this Stranger Worlds would say, okay, we have our own enemies. Something that just happens with in our series. It has nothing to do with the Gorn or something like that.
Yeah, it could be species that arose and were wiped out before Kirk even arrived on the scene. And that's how they
Yeah.
should do it, because then it wouldn't affect the later show. But they're not
Yes.
that smart. But I was
Yes,
trying to be positive. Now, you drugged me back down. I'm still going to say that of all the Star Trek we've had since the Enterprise, I mean, Discovery is ridiculous Drek. It's not even Trek. It's Drek with a D.
Yeah.
And
Garbage.
then Picard. Oh my God, the first 2 seasons. If you hear our reviews of it, this is so bad, so terrible that it's unspeakable. But Picard season 3, I saw a turnaround, and I saw a turnaround in the making of Strange New Worlds. I'm finding some episodes that are watchable. A lot of them are terrible. Some are actually pretty good. So that's where me and Cub disagree. I'm going to give it a very provisional thumbs up for Star Trek season 2. Strange New World.
For me, as usual, 2 thumbs down.
Okay, well, I agreed with you on a lot of it, but I saw a lot of improvement. I mean, okay, let me ask you this, Cub. Compare it to Picard season 1 or 2 or Discovery. Is it far superior than those?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it doesn't. But
I just want to yes, no. I don't want extra.
No, but
I just want yes, and then we move on.
No, this is just comparing plague to cancer. Sorry. So it's just not as a worse of a disease as the others, but it's still a deadly disease.
Okay. Do you, Kat, or Bazzil, do y'all have any? We'll go to Kat first. Do you have any opinion on Strange New World?
I haven't seen it. I don't think. Which one
Okay,
is
well, it's the one with Anson Mount. He plays Pike. They're in the Enterprise before Kirk took over.
that? Is this in the card?
No, it's not in Picard. They originally started this by bringing them into that trash show, Discovery. And then
I never watched it.
Yeah, well, that was very wise. But yeah,
I
okay.
haven't watched. All I've watched is like Star Trek and The Next Generation and like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but it's nothing like that. It's not Star Trek. We are not talking here about Star Trek.
Well, from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like something I would watch. So I don't know. I haven't watched Star Trek in years.
If you get a chance to see it, you can watch it and let us know. Have you? I know you watched some of the Strange New Worlds last year. What's your overall impression of Strange New Worlds with Captain Pike and the new Spock and whatnot? What did you think about the series so far, Bazzil?
I'd have to give it a half a thumbs up.
Bazzil has the strangest rating system.
He does, doesn't he?
he might use 10 battle swords. He might use 5 battle swords.
But
he might use
5 battle
3.
swords down and 5 battle stars up. Yeah.
If he uses a thumbs up and down, you just heard him. It's a thumb halfway up.
Yeah, so it's a thumb sideways.
Sideways. I don't know. Okay, so we have a thumbs up, but very provisionally from me. We have a sideways thumb from Bazzil. We have we have a definite double thumbs down from Cub, and we have to wait until Kat gets to see some episodes. We can revisit this after Kat sees some episodes. What do y'all think?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
it might be a year. She might never watch any. But if she does, we can revisit it. Or if they make another season.
They won't. I'm pretty sure. Because nobody watched this crap besides you and Bazzil.
Well, I made Bazzil watch it. Like I did you.
Yeah, so 1.5 viewers they had just. So, no. I don't think so that they are continuing this crap. but it's for me not Star Trek anyway. And also, I don't want any continuation of any of these Kurtzman Trek shows. I want them to stop. Let somebody else try his luck, and they have to erase the whole timeline with everything: Picard, Strange New Worlds, Discovery, especially, and also this animated crap. Did anybody see the animated show? The other animated show, not Lower Decks. There was a second one which I even didn't watch.
I didn't see it. I wasn't aware of it. You were supposed to let me know if we're going to need to watch it.
Yeah, it's called Star Trek, not Legacy. It's called Star Trek so and so. It's an animated show. It's an animated show, and nobody has watched it. I asked everybody, and I also haven't seen it. So, but it's there. So even the biggest Star Trek fans, which I consider us to be, nobody from us has even heard of it besides me. and
yeah, that is odd.
Since
it's animated. What channel is it on?
I don't watch TV. You know that.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
It makes for great comedy.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to find out Prodigy. Yeah, it's called Star Trek.
Prodigy. I heard of it, but I hadn't seen it anywhere.
It has also already 20 episodes.
Have y'all guys seen Prodigy or heard of it? Cat?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, and
what about you, Cat?
Ended last year in December. It started in October 2021 and ended last year in 2022 December. 20 episodes. And nobody has seen one episode from us. And we are kind of biggest Star Trek fans. And half of us hasn't even heard of it. So
yeah, that's crazy. Are you saying it's animated?
Yes, it's called Star Trek Prodigy, and it's with Captain.
That's probably why I didn't notice it.
I think it's with Kate Mulgrew.
If you want, I'll watch some episodes for next time. Or do you think it's not worth watching?
I don't think it's worth watching, but it seems about here Captain Janeway plays a part in it, the hologram of Captain Janeway, and that's why Kate Mulgrew is part of the
cast.
Of the cast, yeah. Seems like that. Yeah, as I said, I'm not planning to watch any of this crap, but just want to bring it up that you see how where we are with Star Trek. It's over. Here, it's dead, Jim.
So in Germany, if you said that line, it's dead, Jim. Would the other Germans pick up that you're talking Star Trek and doing a McCoy voice?
Yes, of course. In Germany, we say "Es ist tot, Jim," and they understand that directly, immediately, because it's original.
If you're stranded in Germany, you got one line you can say. How about that?
Yeah, but really, because it's
it's not that applicable to normal life, but still.
Yeah, and I hear it sometimes, by the way, here in Germany. It's cited sometimes. It's not unknown.
Well, that's good news.
So I would say so much for
delaying as long as possible before we got into the meat of the show, because I was hoping our special guest would show up. He's supposed to be awesome. He has a great channel, which is linked in the description. You want to talk about our guest who's in the description, Cub?
Yeah, Tony Sylar is his. It's his the name of his channel, and he makes reviews, awesome reviews. You have to really check them out. I'm going to put his channel in the chat so that people.
Yeah, good idea. They are. He's got some really good content. And if we don't see him this show, maybe he'll be on the next show, the Halloween stream, and then we have Christmas. So those are two great ones coming up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's busy, or he just forgot because he's on holiday in Portugal. And, maybe that's why he forgot or confused the time. Can also
did he just go out on a boat?
Who knows?
There's sharks off Portugal. Large sharks.
I don't know. We have to ask him when he shows up.
If he comes back, if a shark didn't get him, now I'm worried about him, being, eaten by a shark. Because we have Meg 2 review coming up. but let's hear about it.
He's a very critical reviewer. So probably he gives the shark a rant or something like that, and the shark tries to get away, because his videos sometimes they also go over an hour, and he goes really into detail.
He really does.
I really highly recommend his work. So no, I would say let's go on. We have so many things to talk about. For example, we can talk about something that is not even on the list.
Is that allowed?
A new show. Yeah, just to not go into the meat directly. We can talk about Ashoka, the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, that should have been on the list. That's my fault for not putting it on there.
Osaka.
Yeah. It's typical for the American management. This stream needs a German management. I told you that 1,000 times. It's never going to become a Greg's Corner with such mistakes. You know that.
Isn't it on Netflix?
Ahsoka, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Cub loves Disney Plus.
It's on Disney minus, yeah.
Yeah. Glad I don't pay for it.
Yeah, they have to pay me if they want me to watch their crap.
Oh, okay. So let's do Ahsoka. I watched Ahsoka, as I'm sure everyone else did.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay, so there's a lot of women in it, and that's probably a good thing, because I don't know who's going to be the bad guy without having, a white guy to point at. Why are the guys always so poorly written now? Not that the women are written very well. I mean, obviously they're not. But I mean, if you're a guy, you got very little option. But so this has a lot of different women, and we've got a confusing, somewhat boring plot. But you've got lightsabers, and people like Jez, they love lightsabers, right?
Yeah, we have again, like Force Awakens, searching for a map that shows
the
place of somebody who's important. Here, this throne.
It's a MacGuffin.
Throne.
As soon as they pull out that MacGuffin thing, where the map or whatever, that sucks.
They just have these stupid maps. And every time it just, it's a map. And it shows somebody who's really important who's a really famous character. This time it's a famous character from the expanded universe, I think, which I don't know.
Yeah, it's from the EU.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thrawn trilogy. Yeah. This is Admiral Thrawn. He's what is it, blue? Yeah, he's blue.
Yeah, so the next character they are going to destroy from the original series, or it's not the original series, it's the kind of the other original series, because we have the original series, the first 3 Star Trek movies, but we have also kind of an original series with the expanded universe. I guess.
Well, now Kathleen Kennedy threw out all the expanded universe when she came in, which I thought was a huge mistake. But they are now drawing elements of the expanded universe in. So when we're talking about Thrawn, this is from a trilogy. What was the name of the trilogy? I forget. But at any rate,
The dark something with the dark so and so or not? Dark Empire or something like that.
Something like that. I'm drawing a blank. At any rate, it was about Luke, Han, and Leia had twins, and one was male, one was female, and this whole story was driven by those three characters. They now are giving us a story that has the primary characters torn out of it. It's like, okay, let's do a Jaws movie, but let's take the shark out and let's take the sheriff out, and it'll be awesome.
What kind of movie would that be then?
It's just a continuation of Rebels or not? It's the 5th season of Rebels.
Yes. If you were a Rebels fan, and I only watched some of it because it's an animated show, and I thought it was kind of childish. I read Lord of the Rings when I was 11 years old. So, I mean, a lot of the comic book stuff I find childish. I find it ridiculous.
Yeah, and the animation was crap. Don't forget that. It was awful.
Animation was very bad. It was primitive. I mean, I could almost draw that well. Maybe not, but
yes, and also the main character Ezra is his name, I think, from Rebels.
I think so.
There. He appears there as a mini version, as a mini version of himself, as a hologram.
Does he? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well,
in the first episode, he appears as a hologram who says, "I wanted to be with you, but I have to do stuff, and so I don't have time." And this is the hologram that she's talking to in the first episode. It's on the table.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of how I actually reacted to this. Overall, I did not hate it. I thought it was one of the better series. I think that it might be going in an interesting direction. Did you notice that when they showed the map, it looked like Thrawn is in another galaxy? So if they're going and they're building the Empire or I don't know what they call it, First Order, after the Empire, before the First Order, what do we call that? I don't know. At any rate,
Greg, by the way, Ivan here, a rabbit from Killer Space, told us how it was called. It was called Heir to the Empire. That's
it. Yeah, that's the series Heir to the Empire. Yes. Thank you, Killer Rabbit. That was very helpful. See, that's why we need you here. You see how much we need you? And we got Ivan. Ivan's in the chat. Let's see.
Yeah, Ivan Master. This is called Master is called in German Meister.
Meister. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like a Burgermeister, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, Burgermeister. So he's
how does
Ivan Master in English.
So Burgermeister, would that be like the head of a town?
Yes. Yes, that's why he is called that. Because a burger is another word for citizen. So it's the master of citizens, the Bürgermeister.
Oh, see? We're learning.
Yeah.
Basically, aren't they like the same as a mayor over here is, basically?
No, they are here even more corrupt.
I don't know.
That was good.
Oh, that's a perfect lead-in for the Richmond song. Did everybody get a chance to watch the song that Cub put on the list? Rich Men North of Richmond?
No.
You didn't tell me.
I put it in your chat.
Yes.
Okay.
We can talk a little bit
why don't you
more
stop
about Ahsoka, and they can listen to this 3-minute song in this time if they want to.
Okay. Can you do that, Bazzil? Maybe that's what he's doing. He just disappeared. Did you get a chance to see it or hear it, Kat?
Oh, that. No, I didn't get to.
Yeah, Kat, if you
Okay.
like, we are talking a little bit about Ahsoka, and it's just a 3-minute song.
Yeah.
So
If
you can listen to it.
go listen to the song now, y'all can come back and we can discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have to leave. They can just mute here.
Well,
and,
they can't listen to you pontificate and the song. Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't have
whatever.
to leave unless they need to. I don't know. They might be using their
Yeah.
phone to do both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, whatever. So Ahsoka, first off, you forgot to mention we have a story where they are searching, where both parties are searching for this throne guy. Again, with a stupid map that shows holographic shows kind of 2 galaxies, and he seems to be in
It
another
was
galaxy.
ridiculous why they're able to free these prisoners. First, we have Moth, Gideon or whatever, freed from a ship being transported. Why are they transporting their most valuable prisoners all over the place with no escort? These guys ought to be on Star Destroyers, right? If you're going to transfer basically a super high level, extremely dangerous prisoner who's obviously going to be freed by the Empire if they have a chance, then you do it under the heaviest possible conditions. And this guy just lets anybody wander onto his ship and get slaughtered. Why didn't he call in why didn't he call in galactic fighters, rebel fighters or whatever? Why didn't he hit the hyperspace?
And also, did you catch that this prisoner was the one that was captured by our lead here, the woman with the dead octopus on her head, Ahsoka?
Oh,
she was catching her in the Mandalorian, or not?
Yeah, that's true. And there's another thing. Apparently, this high-level prisoner who's freed, she's a witch. Do you remember witchcraft in Star Wars?
No, because there is no witchcraft in Star Wars. It's just made up.
I mean, she's a witch that, as I understand, that doesn't involve the Force, right? This is something different. So now they're putting actual witchcraft magic in Star Wars.
Yeah, but if they
That's
now
ridiculous.
use magic, then why do they even have to do that? They have already the Force, which can do everything anyway.
Yeah,
so now
and
they
that's
have to
when
use
they first said
actual
witch.
magic.
When they first said she's a witch, I assumed that was just some term and she employed the Force, because now you talk about destroying canon. This is a huge thing. You have a whole nother world that's not supposed to be part of our world that has supposedly, possibly, witches and warlocks, and no, this is another far away. It should not have other things that we happen to have, like witches, and that they're totally real. This isn't that, someone is trying to make something work. In our world, we do not recognize witchcraft as being a real thing, but they apparently do recognize it. And it's never been mentioned, and they just throw that in there. I think that's a major mistake.
Yeah, it is like everything with Disney Star Wars, and
well, I saw a possible positive. If they're going to move to another galaxy, then we could see something totally different. We could move away from just Sith versus Jedi. Maybe the Sith and the Jedi have to fight together against this force from the other galaxy. And if you read the EU, they did mention some very big, very scary alien race that's coming towards them. And Thrawn, I believe, was worried about that, or suspected an invasion. And it's one of the reasons why he wanted to reassemble the Empire, so that humanity and all these other races wouldn't be wiped out by this thing. So I could submit to you that Thrawn is actually the good guy, and the Empire is their only hope, basically, because look what happened to the Rebel fleet under Leia Organa, the great general. It went from a fleet of thousands of capital ships to a ragtag group of how many was it in The Last Jedi? 8 or 9 ships, and they didn't even have a full tank of gas. And of course, never before in any Star Wars have they needed gas or any type of fuel, but that was convenient for Rian Johnson. And it's like hyperspace ramming. It completely destroys all of.
But Greg, I had no idea who's the good guy and who's supposed to be the bad guy. I have no idea who are the good guys in this story and who are the bad guys. Also,
you know why it's so hard for you? You know why? Because they're all female. If there was a guy, you could point to him and say, "Hey, that's as long as he was white." Now, if he's a black guy, he's probably a good guy.
You forgot to mention that every white guy is a bad guy in this series.
Do I have to mention that every time?
Every white guy turns out to be a bad guy.
Okay, in geometry, that's what we call a given. That's true every time.
Yeah, when they make this inspection, all the white guys turned out to be the villains against them, the rebels or whatever.
Right. Well, yeah. That's why I make the joke.
Yeah, and also this one of the women is a general for some reason. So it seems like everybody becomes a general.
Is that the green? That's the green girl, right?
Yeah,
I didn't mind any of
the green girl with the octopus, dead octopus on her head, with the tentacles.
but honestly, I didn't. None of the women were dislikable. They
really.
I like
so Sabine was not dislikable. The Padawan here, the one that was refused from Ahsoka, where Ahsoka didn't want to train her, and they broke up, and then she comes back. The one that gets a lightsaber.
I'm not saying they're all likable. I'm saying the acting and the writing didn't put me off on them as like, oh, they're woke, and it isn't following that trope. It's following a different one. And they all happen to be female, but it could be interesting. I'm not gonna just throw it away.
They at least seem to be indestructible because they get a lightsaber into the stomach.
Yeah.
And survive.
Yeah. You got a lightsaber through the stomach.
Yeah.
You didn't think about that.
So really, what's with that? Why are they? Now it's just a normal wound that you can heal from. So it's really not a big threat or danger anymore. Why didn't they use then directly guns or something like that, which will be more effective?
The only one who's ever been killed by a lightsaber to the stomach is Qui-Gon. Everybody else is up and going in a few hours.
Yeah, it seems like that.
But I think there's a chance if they go to this other galaxy, maybe it'll be more interesting. Maybe we can get away from this galaxy and tell some decent stories. I don't know, but I'm not gonna. I'm only 2 episodes in, and the acting's not bad. Ahsoka's a good character. I think we've seen her previously. I've read her in the book. This is based on a decent story, or they're just grabbing chunks out of the EU.
But please, Ahsoka is supposed to be trained by Anakin. Really? When did that happen? It doesn't make any sense. And also, just because she's supposed to be trained by him, she's not a Jedi. She's still
she
not
was being
a Jedi.
Trained by him before he turned.
Yeah, but I know that in Rebels she wasn't a Jedi.
And she gave up on the Jedi Order, so she's not actually a Jedi, but
she's
she has
not a Jedi master.
Abilities.
They say she's a Jedi master. But you
No,
don't
she never
become
completed her training.
Yeah, you don't become a Jedi Master when you not completing your training. And also now she has somebody she's training.
Look,
to
the
also.
enemy came and destroyed everything. So, yeah, it's difficult to get your degree when your college has been bombed. But
I can tell you something. For me
she
personally,
still has the knowledge. I don't mind. Go ahead.
As somebody who's a fan of the original series, Star Wars series, for me there are no female Jedi, and the reason for that is because Jedis are supposed to be Jedi Knights, and this is supposed to be like in the Middle Ages with normal knights, like King Arthur knights, and there were also no women back then, knights. There were knights and there were princesses and kings and things like that and queens, but there were no female knights back then. And in Star Wars, there were also no female Jedi knights. And that's why it's for me a break with canon anyway. All this crap that now there are just female Jedi, there's no male Jedi anymore. This is just stupid. Sorry.
Well, I'm not sure from the small sample size we had in the original Star Wars. This was after everyone had been wiped out. So maybe most of the females, like most of the males, had been gone. I can't say for sure. I mean, he talked of the Order in a past tense, Obi-Wan, and he never mentioned whether there were men and women. I don't know. I would assume that there would be because the Force. They talked about Leia and Luke both having the Force. That means women can be Force sensitive and Force user, which means more than likely they're going to be Jedi Knight. Or
no, just because you are Force sensitive doesn't automatically mean that you become a knight. This is just stupid.
Well, no, but you could have if you have Force powers.
Because the knights also have to give up their life, kind of. They're really they're supposed to be alone and whatever. But as I said, it's just for me. I'm just a fan of the original trilogy and go after that. Everything.
There were no female Jedi Knights in the original trilogy. That's true.
Yeah, and for me, even the prequels are fan fiction. Even the stupid stuff that George Lucas himself came up with is for me fan fiction. You can't say that
George Lucas's prequels are fan fiction. There are female Jedi Knights, and they exist in the prequels, and I think they existed before the fall of the Jedi Order. Just because you don't, how many Jedi do we see in the original trilogy?
Yeah, but
there's not
Lucas
many
himself,
because
he didn't had a plan for the trilogy. For the first trilogy, he didn't even have a plan. In the second, in Empire Strikes Back, Luke and Leia weren't brother and sister. That he made up in the third one. He just made that up.
Yeah, you're reading from the cheat notes. You don't know that just watching the movies. You're only supposed to be able to talk about what you know from watching the movies or reading the book. You've gone behind the scenes and read.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't watch anything here making off or something like that because I didn't care. I didn't watch the behind the scenes stuff or the notes or
somehow
the other
that they weren't supposed to be brother and sister. So you picked up that knowledge somewhere, and it wasn't from the movie. So you're cheating.
It was for me. It was unnatural when I saw the third one. When I watched the third one back then, I thought here are so many things that don't make any sense, and this was one of these things.
Are you sure? Now, how old were you when you watched this?
I watched it late because the first one.
You were about 11 years old, weren't you?
No, I was much older because I only watched the second one in the cinema, and I didn't know that it is the second one. The Empire Strikes
So you're
Back
telling
was-
me you weren't distracted by the Ewok?
Of course, the Ewoks were also stupid. But the thing is, back then I watched. When
I was
watched
picturing a
the
very
first
young
one,
cub in the
I was
theater.
I was 9 years. I know I was 9 years old, or 8 years, or 9 years when I watched the first one. The second one in the cinema. Here, Empire Strikes Back, and after that, 3 or 4 years later, I watched here Return of the Jedi. And after that, I watched the first one. The first one was the last one that I watched from the
Oh
trilogy.
wow, you did it reverse order, huh?
Yeah, no, it was just the availability back then. I watched them like I had them. So
Okay, do you have any comments on all this, Kat?
I'll tell you, it's probably a shit show. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't care if it sounds like that, but I really haven't cared for the Star Wars shit. I went and seen The Last Jedi, and that was I've seen Rogue One. I did not watch Mandalorian. I haven't watched this nonsense. When stuff gets that far away from canon, I'm just done with it. If that, I just can't be bothered with it. I probably wouldn't like it. Probably wouldn't. Not my fault.
By the way, this season had just 8 episodes. We already watched 2. There was nothing going on in them in the first 2 episodes. They were just hunting this stupid MacGuffin. And also, it's just about women, which I can't stand. Especially Sabine, the one that cuts her hair, that she looks like a man.
Oh God, the rebel girl.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also, did you see the rebel?
You want me to really talk about this?
No,
I'm
what
trying
are
to
you-
be positive. Now,
What is up with this stupid rebel painting, which
Okay,
looks
so this-
exactly like the cartoon on the wall?
it looks terrible. There's a lot of background stuff, and that's all referred back to the Rebels series. But yeah, while the acting isn't bad, I don't dislike the women. They're boring. Their conversations are boring, and a lot of it, is just they're talking about the MacGuffin, finding the map, and it's just the same stupid story that we've been force-fed over and over again. So I don't blame the actresses or the women or the fact that they are women. Look, if they made them men, they would be absolutely much, much worse. Because they can't write men at all. At least they can write women a little bit. Except they try to write women as men. I don't know if y'all are following what I'm saying.
Yes.
You see that, Kat?
Absolutely.
You see that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I want you to talk about that a little bit because
and also,
Well,
the
it seems like Hollywood wants to write in the qualities they want to see in a woman. If you feel where I'm going there, like you just said, they make her have all these like really masculine qualities. Oh, well, we'll try to make it look better or whatever than what it is. And it's just annoying. It's like, just let her be her. Let her be her.
Exactly. As an example, if you go back to like Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
I liked Wonder Woman. She didn't just come in and beat everybody up. She would outthink them, or she would outtalk. She would outtalk them. She would she would be on their side suddenly if they were right, and then she would switch back. She had those qualities of female.
Hey, wait a second.
Yes.
The Germans she just murdered in the first movie.
Well,
She didn't
they're
out-cop
German.
the Germans. She just murdered them.
No.
So we can't stand her here.
Yeah, she didn't just murder them. I'm talking about the series and stuff. She wouldn't even hardly beat them up. The Germans kidnapped her. and they had they stole her.
Hey, we call it here a date in Germany. You call it kidnapping.
Now, Greg, when you say the series, right? You're talking about the one back in the 70s, correct?
Yeah.
I used to watch the hell out of that. I liked it.
Yeah, I got it on DVD.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I grew up with that, but if she had
Linda Carter,
they didn't write her as a man.
No, right? God, no. She was perfect, really. Linda Carter was great in that part.
I thought, it was a good series, but Linda Carter was really good. The writing wasn't good, and she had these terrible 70s actors, and they gave her this horrible special effects. But Linda Carter sold it. She made it work, and it was her charm and her personality. It was her as a woman that made it work. A man couldn't have pulled that off.
Yes, she was really sweet person.
She had a steel to her,
Yeah.
She might have been sweet, but when she looked a certain way, you knew, uh-oh.
Done.
Yeah,
she was
and
done.
at least she looked like Wonder Woman. She had the
and that's what
they've
done. They're purposely destroying women. They're trying to build them up. The women don't want to be men, do y'all?
Let me say something. If you're going to say that, then I have to. I think that society in general is trying to destroy both genders. I said it. I don't give a shit.
No, you're right.
Yeah, they think they're trying to turn us against each other, and I think it's pretty fucked up, if you want me to be honest.
I've even got a story from the horror convention that addresses that.
Really?
But one of the panels. I can go into it a little later, but it's the exact same thing that we're talking about. And this Cub isn't anti-woman. Cub is anti-women being turned into men.
Exactly, because I'm going to say this, folks. If Cub was anti-woman, I wouldn't be here. So there's your answer. I wouldn't be on here to talk or anything.
And we need you. We've got Barbie on this episode.
Yeah.
And we really need a woman.
You mean the Barbenheimer?
Yes, the Barbenheimer.
He's here. We have to face him. But the thing is, also, did you get? We had a scene like in the first so-called Star Trek movie from Jar Jar Abrams, also here in Ahsoka, with this car chase with rock music, which doesn't neither fit Star Trek nor it fits Star Wars.
No, it was ridiculous. I was going to mention they turned this one girl, and the short-haired girl, she's like the rebel because they're having a ceremony to honor her and the people who died, and she ain't going to be there. So she takes off on her motorcycle thing. And why they've got this huge highway to nowhere. I mean, this highway looks like it cost billions of dollars.
Since when do they need highways? They have speeders anyway. They can drive.
Why do they need highways that are so expensive when everybody's traveling around in stuff that doesn't have wheels? That makes no sense. And it makes no sense that I dislike this rebel girl too, because I don't agree that it fits her personality. It's hard to explain, but she's rebellious about the most stupid of things,
and also, isn't that just rude? Is it just rude behavior when somebody wants to thank you and you don't show up for no reason?
You see, she got to do it because he was a man and he's the mayor or whatever. So she was acting against the patriarchy it's just be civil to each other and don't be rude, and it's a good start. Man, they really. Cat is right. They want
to show some kind of a rebel or rebellious being, but they can't go all the way, because if you want to show a character like that, give him give him really a reason why to behave that way. For reasons when they would have taken a man for this character, they could have made him a real somebody who's drinking and has problems and things like that, and doesn't.
Well, they could do that with a woman as
crap,
well.
but they can't do that with a woman. They just so this woman behaves this way with no reason. For the audience doesn't get why is she so rude.
Well, it's not just that. Look, they capture this MacGuffin map, right? And she brings it to Ahsoka, brings it back to the ship where this other rebel girl, I can't think of her name, steals it, and she's like, "Oh, I want to take this somewhere else," and she's like, "No, I want it to stay in the ship because we know that the Empire is trying to get this, and they've got everything they got to, and so she steals it, she takes it out of the ship, she unlocks it, and it gets captured by the enemy because, of course it does, because she does something rebellious that allows the enemy, and we're talking about the destruction of the entire galaxy. If you take this out, it's like, okay, Cub,
but this
we can
just
lose the entire
shows
galaxy.
Yeah, but this just shows
what kind of rebellious
she's not trustworthy or not.
No, it's not trustworthy at all. If her rebellious nature means she's willing to endanger the entire galaxy because she doesn't want to do it here, she wants to go back to her place where it's totally unsecure and where the enemy is waiting. She's not only she's stupid. I'm sorry, that's stupid.
Yeah,
You'd have to be stupid.
I
don't care, male, female.
She's ignoring a direct order from her former.
She should be thrown in prison, right? If you do that in the German army, what would they do if you endangered the entire country and you stole? Yeah, you stole it and took it home so that you could work on it there. And like, oh, I'm sorry, Chancellor Cub, I've lost your super secret thing that could destroy everything. Sorry, I took it home.
Yeah,
I think Chancellor Cub would have you thrown in jail at the least.
Yeah, and this is the problem with all these characters. We can't stand most of them, or they are just boring, and all this, also the stuff that they're doing, we don't know what is going on because most of us haven't seen Rebels. And this is just a continuation of Rebels because the director, producer of this series here, what's the guy's name? Filoni, I think, Dave Filoni.
Yep.
He was also the maker of Rebels, and that's the only thing he knows from Star Trek. So for him, this is Star Wars. This is Star Wars for him. He doesn't know or care for the original Star Wars.
Oh, you're saying what he came out of? Well, that's an interesting thought.
No,
I do think
he's the creator of Rebels, Dave Filoni.
I know.
So this is the only thing that he associates with Star Wars. He has no idea what Star Wars is about. He's a hack.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that's a thumbs up from Cub on Ahsoka.
No.
I'm gonna give it. I'm not gonna give it a thumbs down. And I can't give it a thumbs up, but I will give it one of Bazzil's weird sideways thumb. How about that? Because we're only 2 episodes in, and because I think there's a possibility that we could have a decent series here.
Yeah, this is wishful thinking.
It's wishful thinking. Did y'all guys have a chance to see Cub's song?
Yes, and when I got to watch it, it hit me. It's like, oh yeah, a friend of mine's been posting this guy on Facebook, and I've been watching him already, and I didn't realize. So actually, yeah.
From a artistic point of view, the song was stupid. He had no rhyme, no rhythm, no melody. From a factual point of view, it's accurate. Very accurate.
Well, I would consider it a folk song,
Yeah.
and it's a very southern song, which you know, and it was I hadn't seen it before. Cub posted it to me. I didn't know Cub listened to music like this. Cub listens to techno music and all kinds of
Hey,
stuff.
we have
Nothing wrong with
invented
techno
country.
music.
We have invented Texan country music here in Germany, as you know.
Really?
Yeah, this was the last song I posted on my music channel. The band is called Texas Lightning, the German
Yeah.
country band.
That's true. You ought to send a link. Put a link in the chat to it, and that way,
Yeah.
we'll get Kat and them to actually watch your stuff.
Yeah, I can do that. But you
There
wanted
you
to
go. There you
explain-
go.
You wanted
Well,
to
it's a very
explain-
true song. You know what I wrote down when I watched this? Cry of pain.
I mean, I agree with the guy. Everything he says, I agree with. I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
You're gristling about the
100%. I'm
art.
just saying from an artistic point of view. That's all. It
Yeah,
could have
but
been
he's
better.
a southern guy. He's some backwoods southern guy in the
Yeah,
woods with his
I got
guitar.
He's expressing his frustration just like I do, and you know I do.
You need to do a song. Bazzil sings the blues. That's what you ought to put up on your channel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So this is.
And,
this
let's
song
hear
is-
what
is
Cub
kind-
thought of the song.
This song is kind of a phenomena because this guy, he was kind of a nobody, and not many people knew him. But this song went viral, and we have now kind of the same effect like with this movie about child trafficking. What's the name again?
I think it's interesting that even though this guy's clearly a southerner, it seems like it's picked up a lot of support out west and up north because it goes beyond his regional area. It's a song that reflects, even in Germany. The Cub, it's resonated with Cub.
I mean, he had this Sound of Freedom film.
I know, but
which-
the song
which got is a big hit, but nobody's talking about it. And even they say, "Oh no, it's right-wing propaganda." And with this song, somebody makes a viral song that resonates with many people because the lyrics speak directly from the heart of the people, what they think, and they ignore this thing in the mainstream media. And even say, "Oh, this is a right-wing propaganda song, whatever."
Yeah, I can believe that. Yep.
And
the title of the song. Do you understand the title of the song, Cub?
I understand it, but you could really explain for the audience, many of them are Germans, why this song resonates so much especially in the USA. What is the song about?
Well, the title of the song is Rich Men North of Richmond. Now, Richmond, Virginia is just south of Washington, D.C. He's talking about the people who are running the country, and the dollar is dropping in value. We've got 30 trillion in debt. Our dollar is going to collapse. There's no doubt about that. And what will follow, if you've looked at our politics, a lot of people don't believe that we have fair elections. I mean, half the population doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
And
and you know what happens if there's no elections? I'm out of work.
That's right. Well, you know, sometimes you got to continue on as if everything's normal, and there's no choice, and that's what you do. and you survive. He's talking about survival in a time. Look, they want us all to have electric cars. Well, that's ridiculous. Let's just take that one little thing that they're doing, and the Democrats are pouring billions of dollars into giving people $30,000, $40,000 credit towards an electric car. Well, the car costs $80,000, $90,000. Poor people are not going to be able to ever buy one of these things.
Nope.
And they're making it impossible for you to pass your inspection. They're making it
about to say the same thing. Yeah, and they're finally giving you, ridiculous restrictions every single year. It changes. Now all of a sudden, if you take your car to a different county that doesn't require an inspection for emissions, your car will automatically be inspected for emissions. That's crazy.
It's you cannot. The electric cars are for rich people. They're trying to get poor people off the road. We don't have the power grid to have electric cars for even 5%, even 2%. So this is a cry of pain of the poor people. We can't drive. We're in a big country over here, Cub. For you to get around Houston, we're talking 500 square miles to get around Houston. We have a ridiculously sorry bus service. So you got to literally take a bus all the way downtown and then all the way out and then all the way back. For you to go somewhere that would take 15 minutes in a car takes 6 hours or 8 hours in a bus.
And there's a lot of places the buses don't go, like in my area.
And it's
the bus service won't come out to the
that
to
really
the
screws people like myself that walk.
Isn't taking
right.
away
And it's 109 degrees.
Isn't taking away the car from the people like taking away their freedom to
it is
absolutely
when they want and wherever they want.
And because we're so much bigger, we can't go walk. It's 109 degrees out there, Cub. And that's like 43 degrees Celsius. We're talking so hot that the concrete and asphalt melt. They melt. You can't walk a dog out there.
That's just the actual temperature. That's not the effect on the body. The actual effect on the body is like 115.
Yeah, or 120, because we have humidity of 100% normally. Of course, we're in a drought right now, but it's still 80% humidity somehow.
That's awful. You die in that easily.
Yes, and you've got to somehow go walk to the bus stop in that kind of heat, and you've already, got heart failure or diabetes or whatever your condition is. You can die. You can literally die in these conditions. So when they're taking away the car to save the planet from look, climate change is going to happen. We had a mini ice age a few hundred years ago. You're going to have variations in temperature. That's just how it is. The question is, what are you going to do about it? If you do the wrong thing, you're going to destroy the entire world, according to them. Or everything's just going to continue.
There's even proof out there that all this crap with solar panels is actually, causing problems with the climate, because it's pulling the heat away from the atmosphere and turning it into, even more pollution.
Yes, that's true. All the things that, first off, using arguments like climate change and things like that is just a lie, because
I mean, here they go, they scream about windmills and wind power, and it's been proven windmills don't work. What are you going to do during a hurricane? Well, the hurricane is going to blow them 100 miles an hour, then it's going to burn out the power grid. You can only spend it so fast.
And they're just using this argument to make restrictions on the people, because they just want to take away the freedom from the people. They want to tax them to death, that they aren't able to.
They also want it as a fear. They want to keep the people in fear. And if
Yeah.
you're worried about the entire planet being destroyed, then whatever you got to say about poor people needing to drive that's not important compared to the planet being destroyed. Now, Kat had
Well-
something to say. What did you want to say, Kat?
Also, when we're talking about windmills and solar panels and stuff like that, that's been scientifically proven that they interfere with the natural migration of the birds.
That's right.
And other animals, and a lot of animals that fly, like the birds, are killed all the time by those things. They ruined out here. We had beautiful fields. I mean, I've grown up around here. We had beautiful fields and everything. They have set all kinds of those panels out there, and I think about the birds, how it's interfering with that, because they've published a lot on that over the years.
So where exactly are you?
I'm in Ohio, Chillicothe, Ohio.
Yeah, my cousin was telling me some of the same things. She lives up there in Ohio too. And you know, the original idea, the original concept for the windmill was not for this environmentalist wacko crap that we got out there now. It was just to pump water from under, out of the ground.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
Yeah, and also
And there were very few far in between.
And also to make flour here for baking bread and things like that. That were
grinding your meal and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
grinding your
exactly
meat.
right. I'm not against renewable energy, especially since people like the Germans have got rid of all their coal plants and all their nuclear plants and
but we have to bring them back. We have to because we have not enough energy anymore. Thanks to
the Germans basically use gerbils on wheels.
And
that powers the entire country.
No, we get our nuclear power now from France. Now we have now we have to pay for it much more because we don't produce it ourselves, and we have to get it from outside, which doesn't make any sense. Because
it's more expensive because of that.
Our power plants.
Does it cost you more because it comes from France?
Yes,
I wondered.
Yes, it costs more, and also our power plants that we have destroyed were much safer than the ones we get now the power from Poland. And France.
Those French power plants are crazy. They're going to blow up and radiation will go up.
Yeah, you're out of jobs and you're paying more money for electricity.
And our industry is leaving the country. Is leaving the country because of that. Our biggest
and not only that
are now leaving the country.
Something happened to their gas pipeline from Russia, and it blew up.
It mysteriously got blown up.
I think the English did it, but
probably.
Yeah, the really stupid thing about the whole.
I shouldn't have said anything. It's too soon.
Hey, maybe the same guys did it who stole the Enigma.
Oh, we've had weird stuff going on here that I haven't even mentioned. We've had like 20,000
train wrecks and stuff, derailments.
Well, up in Ohio, she's Cat seen all kinds of train wrecks and derailments, and down here there was 20,000 cows got killed in a mysterious fire at a dairy farm.
God.
Yeah, that was a couple of months back, and
that is weird.
I never in my life heard anything like that. A fire.
20,000?
20,000
cows. That's just one incident. There was another one.
There's been other
just recently. There was another one just recently. It killed another big block of cows.
I don't know what's going on over here, but there is weird stuff going on left and right. And the Germans, they need to build nuclear power plants. I don't see any other option for them. I mean, we're going to help them out with some stuff, but they've got problems over there. I think there's something in the water in Europe because they go crazy and they attack each other.
First, we have to
what's really stupid
of this stupid government we have.
You got this argument about oil, oil being bad. Oh, oil. Oh, it's horrible. It's terrible. Petroleum is the most reusable resource on the planet.
Nice.
It can be used over and over and over and over nonstop. You
Can
make
it?
glass. You can use it for
Recycling it.
glass. You can use it for plastic. A lot of our medicine comes from it. Fertilizer. I mean, it just it goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop. People
Well,
are stupid.
hey,
These
you can,
people are-
y'all guys can thank me for that. I worked in the oil field.
Thank you,
Yep,
Greg.
I know.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
Yeah, as I said, our stupid government is destroying the country. They are traitors, and we have to get rid of them. That's our biggest problem. When we get rid of this government, I hope the next ones are trying to fix that, because they are
Do y'all
constantly
have
passing
a
stupid
song?
laws. Here, Greg, they have passed a law 2 days ago. When you say to a man that says from himself that he's a woman, and you tell him
Transgender.
you are a man, this now you can get fined for that, and you can go to
I'm not
prison for
following
that.
what you're saying.
But explain it again. What? I'm lost. Are you talking about
I'm lost,
transgender people?
No, I'm talking about people, normal men. They don't have to even disguise as women anymore. They just can define themselves as women. And if you say, no, you are a man, then you get fined for that. You have to pay €1,000.
I'm lost here.
I'm lost as hell too.
I think I'm starting to follow him, and I don't want to comment.
No, Greg, explain to your colleagues that if you have understood what I said.
All right, I understood. So if a guy says, "Hey, I'm a chick," you gotta call him a chick.
Yeah, and if you
Is that
don't
wrong?
publicly, if you don't publicly, then he can sue you, and you have to pay a fine.
That's
And
ridiculous.
they passed this law 2 days ago.
What if he just lies? What if he just says you said that? Who do they believe?
Yeah.
You got to believe all women, but he's not really a woman.
Yeah, but the thing is, they are destroying everything female.
You got
Are
the
you
joke.
are you biologically a woman? Well, let's find
Yeah.
out.
But
Drop the
No,
britches, boy.
but I know this sounds stupid, but they really
I don't want anybody
passed
popping
this
their
law.
britches.
So they're destroying our industry and our economy and everything.
Look,
On the
I
one
don't
side, they're
care.
destroying it. On the other side, they're passing these
Yeah, of course they're
stupid
destroying
laws.
it. That's the whole point. This is a freaking.
This government, they are traitors. They all have to go
You mean
to
the
prison.
German
We have to
government
get-
or the
yes, the
or
German
Biden?
government. They are traitors. Yeah, together they work together with Biden. You know that. They are all Biden fans. They are all Democrats.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, and we are waiting here that we get rid of them.
Oh, and the German economy was just tore up by this recent political stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, as I said,
I was going to ask you, do you have like a German version of these songs, like Richmond, north of Richmond?
No, we don't. And but here in Germany, it's very popular. Many people are
Our song, the Richmond song.
Yes, the Richmond song.
Because it appeals to you, because not as an American, but as a German, you can identify with how the American feel, the poor people.
Yes, yeah, but we feel the same. The thing is,
but y'all guys are rich compared to us.
We have here translated versions here with subtitles from the song that German people understand the lyrics. But even if you don't understand the lyrics, I played it for some people I know, and they directly understood what the song was about, even without understanding the lyrics.
Really? You mean just from hearing? They don't understand English, but they're hearing it.
English,
they hear the pain. They hear the pain.
They hear, and also some words they know, of course. And there are some words identify, which you can, even if you don't speak English, you know these words are universal, kind of. For example, rich man, you don't need to translate that. Everybody knows what rich man is. And also when he sings, but here they think you don't know, but you do.
Well, as a Southerner, have you ever heard The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's a great song. You gotta
Yeah.
send it
They
to him.
drove Old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went, na, 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 na. Na,
Yes,
na,
I
na,
know
na,
this
na.
one. Yeah, I know that. I
Yeah.
know that
So
song.
when I was listening to the Richmond song, that and the song by Tom Petty, "Rebels." Have you ever heard that one?
Oh, he made a
That's
song for the
another excellent song.
TV
And Refugee.
for the Star Wars TV show.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
no.
in a way, we're living like refugees in our own country. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, we are
Tom Petty
in
had
our
it
own
right.
way.
There
Well,
was
you know,
before this
it's a
song,
it's a
there was
the Rebels song. It was about growing up in the concrete and steel, but basically it was a cry against the Yankee oppression. You know, you're always talking about how the U.S. government is occupying Germany, and I've told you, you know, the South has been occupied all this time.
yeah,
But
and
and every now and then you hear a cry of pain in our music. And
yeah,
Rebels, The
there
Night
was
They Drove
another.
Old Dixie Down, and Richmond, north of Houston. I'm sorry, north of Richmond.
Hey, there was a
we
song
got
before that.
a lot of the rich people in Houston. They live in Kingwood, which is north of Houston. So it kind of
I
it
know.
ranks. It's like
I
hitting the
know a
gong.
man
You know?
that once told me anything north of Houston is Yankee land. I don't think you know what I'm talking about.
Here,
Yeah.
there was another song that was also popular before that. It was called "Try This in a Small Town." Have you heard of that song?
Yeah, I have.
What's the name
That's
of it?
the same thing. Try this in a small town.
No, I never heard of that.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd like it. Well, Cub
Yeah,
has completely distracted the stream. We were not
no,
going to go off
That's all
on
right.
political.
It happens.
Hey,
no,
It's
but
entertainment. I mean, that's what it's all
it's
about.
an entertainment stream that also covers some politics.
Yeah.
Which is also fun.
yeah, we are just covering the song, so that the mainstream
Yeah, we're covering
media
the song
is
which
ignoring,
Cub put on the
which
list.
which is very popular, by the way. Many people are listening to this song, but
Gross.
the mainstream
Gross.
media is completely ignoring it and putting it in a right-wing corner, which is just not true. Because it talks about problems for from all people, not just right people.
No, that's exactly true. It's you see what we have here in America is a division between class, between rich people and poor people. But the rich people don't want that to be the narrative. They want it to be different races against each other. And I was even going to mention that on my Blue Beetle review. I guess I could jump ahead. Do you want to do Blue Beetle right now? And I can tell you, Blue Beetle's on the list, Cub.
Yeah, I know. There are many train wrecks to come now. Yeah.
Okay, so on Blue Beetle, you have a Hispanic family, and you've got one of them becomes a superhero using a AI suit. It's an alien suit from God knows when, billions of years, a galaxy away. But weirdly, it acts just like the AI that we've just seen, like in Iron Man or
Yeah. or
And the other thing. That's
or in
stupid.
Spider Boy, or the one
Yeah,
from
Spider.
Venom.
It's the same thing. How
Yeah,
how
but
can
it's an alien species like in Venom, also a symbiote.
right? Exactly. But why? I wanted to make another point about this. I grew up with Eli Lopez, and he was my best friend for decades. And so, as a boy, I would go over there. I would hang out. I would eat. There were black folks. There were white folks. It was, a Mexican family. The Blue Beetle does capture a little bit of that Hispanic experience. But I'll tell you this: my buddy Eli Lopez was a big John Wayne fan, and his family had fought in all the wars. From he had kinfolk who died fighting under Robert E. Lee, and he was Hispanic. Now, whenever you see shows or whatever, they don't show the huge number of Hispanics or blacks. There were quite a few blacks,
Exactly.
and so it what I didn't like about this is they try to make this into a class thing. That in Blue Beetle, they're trying to say that Mexicans are all, oh, it's a family, and where's the white guy? Where's the black guy? We're not all divided in America into these enclaves of just Mexicans or just blacks or just whites. That's not how it is. That's certainly not how it is in Houston or across the South or the other parts of the country I went to. Yeah, up in the north, up in New York and stuff, they have all, at least they did like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, had neighborhoods that were basically all one race. But in Houston, if you go out to the 4th Ward or the 5th Ward or the 3rd Ward, those are like black neighborhoods. But guess what? A good 30% of that black neighborhood is Hispanic, and a good 10 or 15% is white. And all those people mixed together. If you go over there, it was funny back in the 70s and 80s. Did y'all guys ever watch Sanford and Son?
Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
Okay, so Fred Sanford, he was a black racist, and whenever a white person would come over, he would make white people jokes, right? So when I would go over to see my Mexican friends or black friends, I'm, oh no, oh, who left the door open? The white people who got in. There goes the neighborhood, And we would go back and forth, and they would drop joke after joke after joke about races and this, but nobody was angry. We were all laughing because the stupid racist, that was generations before us. And what they're showing now is something I've never seen. They're trying to say that America is broke into these only, oh, you're all white people, and so I never see they showed it a little bit in some of the series of the early 80s, because that's how it is. You have black people, you have Mexicans, you have white, we all mix together. We're not all divided into, let me ask you, Cub, in Germany, are y'all all divided into whatever group y'all are, or do y'all mix among yourselves?
No, it's like you said, we are all mixed here. But the thing with this, especially with this movie, is for me the storytelling that sucks, because the laziness. First off, we have here a story like Ant-Man, but in Ant-Man, at least he had a reason to stumble over the Ant-Man suit. He was a thief. He went in there to break in and to steal something, and that's how he got this suit. So it at least makes a little bit sense. This time, it's just handed out to him, and also we have a thing, a Scarabeus, whatever, like a thing like Venom that chooses that makes a chosen one. That means the guy who had it before was the father of the woman here, of the woman that he falls in love with, which is also stolen from Ant-Man, by the way. It's the same storyline. But the father was not chosen, so he had to build the Blue Beetle stuff, which doesn't make any sense. this is I don't know. I can't stand these stories with chosen ones whatsoever.
Well, how did you like the family dynamic? I thought that was the only good part of the show. Is I kind of bought the family because when I tell you when I grew up with Eli, I was over his house all the time, and the granny and stuff that they appealed to me. You're right about a lot of it. I can't disagree with anything you said, but and the story sucks and stuff. But the actor was from like Cobra.
I know Cobra Kai, and the family stuff, the Mexican family stuff, had to be toned down a lot. And the stuff with the white family, which there was also a white family, but the white family was, of course, the evil guys. This had to be toned up a little bit, that they really show that there is a family, because they were related to each other. Here, the evil woman and the good girl, whatever. Why do they have to paint it this black and white? I don't understand. For me,
I understand. It's what we were talking about before. It's a class warfare they're trying to engender. They don't want it to be an economic thing like it is. They want to turn it into a race thing, which it's not. We're not all at each other's throats over here. And what I was saying, what was missing from it, that family dynamic, there's also whites and blacks and stuff, and you're like part of the family. I was like a brother. These people treated me just like they would one of their own family. Now, when Junior's mom got mad at him, she could take off her shoe and bounce it off his head, and she would do the same thing to me. I was like a member of the family.
Hey, sorry to hear that.
No, it was fun. I was very careful not to get her mad. She provided lots of yummy food. It was very rare that she would bounce the shoe off my head.
Yeah, but
you know why she had to do that? Her Junior's dad, he was also named Eli. He would come home and she would tell him, "Oh, you need to whip the boy. He's right." And he was like, "I'm not doing that. I don't want him mad at me when I get old."
Yeah, but didn't you had the feeling when you saw the movie that it was written by an AI? Because
I got the
it
feeling
has so
that it
many
was
elements from other superhero movies. You have even the death of Uncle Ben here, the father who died.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that he died. I just thought,
I
he's
felt
dead.
like it was written by white people trying to write the Hispanic family, but not really understanding them.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, it's supposed to be written by a Mexican guy.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that it's the type of person who grew up in a low-income Hispanic family. You've got these people these are all rich folks, who don't understand what it's like for us who barely survive.
That's right.
Yeah, they don't.
We all got along well with with our Hispanic friends, our Mexican friends, our black friends. We all had a good time.
I've never had any problem with anybody. I really haven't. Let me tell you this. If I walk through the 3rd Ward or 4th Ward or 5th Ward, when I hear stories from up north, they say you can't walk through like some areas if you're a white and it's a black neighborhood. That's not true here at all. I broke down like in the 3rd Ward before, and the black folks had come out and helped me push my car to the freaking gas station. They're all good people. This is crazy. We're not against each other. We're really not. At least down here.
There were people that would tow your boat for you.
Yeah. When I was out there on the water and the boat would break down and I'd break out a flare or something, the white people would just ride right by me. They pretend like they didn't see my flare. Hey,
and
the black
the damn Coast Guard.
Yeah, Coast Guard would ignore you too. They don't care if you stink. But I'm telling you. Now, if you're floating in the water they might come get you. But the black
Hey,
folks, and if I saw anybody in distress, I always immediately went over to. That's the rule of the sea. But you know, time after time after time, it was black folks rescuing my butt. Now, one time, I actually threw my motor overboard.
Yeah, I remember that.
By the
Damn thing wasn't work.
here in
It was
Germany,
worthless.
the Coast Guard is the one that sinks you, by the way.
Are they?
Damn.
That kind of reminds you of Fahrenheit 451, where the German firefighters were the ones who showed up and lit everything on fire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing with this stupid movie, as I say, is they have stolen everything from other superhero movies that were already there. And this is an old property, by the way. It's from the 1930s. So
it is 1939.
So for some reason, they still had to, instead of using the original source material, which I haven't read, but I'm guessing that it is much better thought out than the crap we have seen. Because the story we have seen is just fudged together from every other story, from every other superhero movie. We have even the death of Uncle Ben, kind of like that. We have the half mask scene here from Spider-Man. We have the suit from Iron Man, but also it has the same power like the Venom suit. So this is just fudged together crap. And I didn't enjoy it at all.
So that's another thumbs down from Cub, I'm assuming. Did anybody else get a chance to see Blue Beetle?
No,
Nope.
I had technical difficulties.
Okay. So we've got a thumbs. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because of the heartwarming nature of the Hispanic family. Although I pointed out several flaws, I'm trying to be positive, and
they were annoying as hell. Sorry.
Right. It's true. It's true. But nevertheless, I think that's a thumbs down from Cub. And others didn't see it. So, do we want to move on to the next thing, or do you want to hear my story from the horror convention?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
horror story.
Let's go to the horror convention.
Let's hear that.
Okay. Okay. Did any of y'all guys ever see Sleepaway Camp?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Yes, of course. All
Okay,
three
that's-
of them, by the way.
Okay, we're talking about the first one with Felicia
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Felicia Rose is so awesome. She's at the horror convention, and I've got some video of her, and I
Dude.
plan on uploading it if I ever get it figured out right. But she has these great stories from her different movies, and she's just a lot of fun. Okay, so Q, at the end of you've got Sleepaway Camp is like 1984, something like that. Slasher flick. You know, you're just past Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and
there's-
it is the predecessor to Crying Game. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Do you want to do the upload of Sleepaway Camp, Cub, and tell Bazzil what it's about?
No, we can't tell anybody what it is about, because the thing with Sleepaway Camp, it is completely different to other horror movies, and it is best not to spoil anything from it.
And you know, I do spoiler-free reviews, so I don't want to spoil this of all things. So I'm gonna say there's a scene at the very end of the movie, and they even had a little plastic statue of Felicia Rose in her full end of the movie thing, and the face she makes. I can't fully talk about it, but I will say once Bazzil has a chance to see it, he's gonna be shocked. So I can't ruin this movie of all movies for him, but she's great at the horror conventions, and I'm gonna try to get a deal of me and her together next time. But there's also Camille Keaton. Did any of y'all see I Spit on Your Grave from the 70s?
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
I love that movie.
And
Okay.
it's from
Double
the 80s,
thumbs
I
up.
think, or not? I Spit on Your
It's
Grave. Isn't that 1980 or 1981 or something like
No,
that?
Oh, I
it's
think it was from the
77.
yeah, I think it's from the 70s, Cub.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
No,
this
there was a
very,
remake. There was a remake of it too. But that might be where
yeah. Cub might even be aware of that. Are you aware of the remake, Cub?
Of the remakes, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1978 was the original, and 2010 was the remake.
Yeah, 78. Okay, so it's still
It
70.
was. It was. Oh my god!
Hey, so it's
Wow.
the
Oh my
same
God.
year like Halloween or not?
It's one of them rape and revenge movies.
Yeah, it's the I think the first one.
Yeah, I think it
can't think of.
was.
Yeah, so we're talking a very graphic rape revenge. I mean, the rapes are horrible, and her revenge is equally horrible or worse. I think she takes a boat motor and chops a guy up with it. This is the kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, we're talking serious. God,
Crazy chick.
Grindhouse.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
remember she had
This
that
is
one guy in the bathtub and cut his fallacies off.
Yeah,
This
that's what I'm
movies,
talking
by
about.
the way, they are called rape and revenge movies. It's an own genre, and it was back then. It started with Last House on the Left,
Yes,
which
yes.
which was by the
But-
way a
but-
remake of an Ingmar Bergman movie, by the way.
But in Last House on the Left, it's the parents taking revenge for their kid.
Yes,
This
yes.
is something different. Well, this is something different. This is the first time you see the actual woman who gets attacked come back, and not just with a gun or whatever. No, she's serious about inflicting some pain on these people who inflicted pain on her. So
Yep.
she talked about the movie, and she talked about the director, and she said one of the scenes, if y'all remember, there was a giant rock, and after all she'd been through, they came and they hit her again at the rock, and
Yeah.
when she was saying, when they were talking about doing it, I don't know if they added that scene or something, but she wasn't expecting another rape scene, and she got a little irritated with the director, but she said the director was so nice, and no matter how mad she got, he was like, look, I'm here for you. And she's like, okay, I'm supposed to be naked up against this giant rock. And she said, let me see you be naked on the rock. And so she said the director, yeah, the director stood there and he stripped off his clothes and he was about to take off his underwear and climb. And she's like, no, you can leave your underwear on, but get up on the rock.
Yeah, I bet that was uncomfortable as hell.
Right. And uncomfortable is the word that got used, which has a whole nother context because of the Death Stalker movie. But my brother was there with me, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because she was just a person who was describing all this stuff, and they had questions from the audience, right? And then they had these other questions. Now, I had seen videos with like Felicia Rose and some of these horror conventions, and this one guy seems to be asking the questions, and he's not asking questions from the audience. He's doing his own thing, and his own thing is to try and inject his democratic politics into it, right?
Yeah.
So he frames the question for our girl who, I think they only brought her up. I think she was an emergency replacement, and she doesn't normally do this because we had the writer's strike, right? And we got a lot of cancellation. And so when they were asking her about this, and she described the scene on the rock, and they tried to frame it as male versus female, like we were talking about earlier. It's like, oh, guys are terrible, and the way the new, I can't, I might have it on tape, I don't know, but he says, looking at it now after Me Too and the feminist thing, how, guys are really horrible, and you're great, and this is how you see it, right? And she's like, no, No, I don't see it like that at all. You're completely wrong. She said that this is a human. This is a story of a human. It could have been male or female, and it was attacked, and she got her revenge. That it wasn't about male, female, that it was about just basic humanity. And that the guys who were on that set and were having to do those scenes, they were very uncomfortable with having to do that. And they apologized.
Yeah, they were.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, and we
And
have seen something in this direction.
stood up
here
in front of all the...
from the John Borman movie Deliverance, if you can remember. That was a man who got raped in that.
Yeah.
What movie
that's
was
right.
it, Cub?
Deliverance.
I say.
Oh yeah.
We saw something like
Squeal
that.
like a pig, right?
In the
Yes, sir.
in this direction, because after that they take
See, rape
revenge.
isn't just a male-female thing. It
Yeah,
could
they
be a
take-
man. It
And
could
you
be
want to
anything.
know what? That movie, my daughter loves horror movies, but that movie actually disturbed her, and it was that scene in particular that disturbed her. That's a very disturbing scene to have to watch. A lot of hardcore people that watch some rough stuff that I mean, it's just rough to watch.
You're talking
Yeah.
about Deliverance?
Yeah.
Yeah, John Borman.
Yeah,
is a
it's very
good
hard,
director.
because-
He made some really groundbreaking stuff.
You know
back-
what was even harder was watching him with his family at the end
Yeah.
of the movie. And he can't
Yeah.
say anything because he's a woman. She would tell, she would say most of the time that she had been raped. He can't say anything. He can't ever say a word for the rest of his life. He has to conceal that. And
And all that,
It-
that's because of how society frames things or whatever. Yeah.
it is. We're
It
all
should be
dealing
this
with it.
way or
But
that
I
way.
thought that Camille's response, she rejected this. She could have. It would have been so easy for her to, because the question was framed. All the people, when she said no, it's not feminist. That's not correct. It's human. When she said that, it was like a gasp from the I guess Democrats at the front of the room or something. And the other people were nodding, because it is human. It's a human thing. And the Deliverance reference is awesome because that shows you it also happens to men. And if that man had got loose and then had a chance to take revenge, and if he'd been a different kind of person, that man wouldn't have taken any revenge. But this woman, oh yeah, you do that to her and then you let her loose. Oh my God, she's going to come back and she ain't going to do the law. She's going to do it her way. And I don't blame her one bit. That's exactly what I would do. It was a
Remember,
human.
she even went to the church. She even went to the church before she went and did what she did to get right with God.
Yeah,
Right.
we had also a kind of movie like that from Abel Ferreira.
Our God understands vengeance.
The woman with the Magnum, what's its name? I think
Ms.
Can you
45?
remember? With the Magnum 45 from Abel Ferreira.
Ms. 45, I think was the name of it.
Yeah, here in Germany it was called the woman with the Magnum 45 or something like that, and it has also
There's no such
some-
thing as a Magnum 45.
I don't know, as I said,
I did.
but here in German
There's a
at
Magnum 44. There's a Magnum
what-
357.
Yeah, but
There's a
at
Magnum
least they-
22.
the-
But I've never heard of a Magnum
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, but at least they didn't.
Not quite.
Call it Alien Killer or something like that.
They should have
Killer
called it
alien.
Alien Killer. Alien
As
Killer.
usual.
Germans
As
would have
usual.
flocked to the cinema, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
as usual.
They'd love
Yeah,
alien movies.
yeah, but here every second movie is called Killer Alien or Alien Killer, something like that. You
As
know
they
that.
should be. I do know that. I didn't before I knew you.
Yeah, and
I had a question for you about Hogan's Heroes. Have you ever seen the original Hogan's Heroes? Or have you only seen the German versions where they have barbed wire and high heels, and then what was the second version? Heroes in a Cage.
Hey, there was
A cage full of
German
heroes.
version.
Because you always say stuff backward. Crazy German. A cage full of heroes. Okay.
Yes, a cage full of heroes. I saw one episode, I think, or maybe two, but it was not my kind of.
Okay, I understand. But have you ever seen the original? Do you know that when they transferred this into German, they did not transfer it like it should have been? They changed the jokes. They added characters. Like in the Cage Full of Heroes, Clink has a cleaning woman who is also his mistress and cleans in the nude. Do y'all guys know that?
No.
I never heard. No, I didn't know that.
No,
So-
but
so
here in Germany we have real hard censorship. Always talk some.
Yeah, I
sometimes
don't
talk
care for
about
your
it
stupid German excuses. You are desecrating art. You are taking the Mona Lisa and you're painting a mustache on her.
I know, and I hate our censorship. It's
You
not
don't-
something I like. I always criticize that in my reviews, as you
And
know.
yes,
I
you
talked
do,
about it in my
but
Planet
you're
of
the
my,
German
of
on the
Apes
panel, so
review.
you. Okay, but what I'm saying, I do you know of any other instance where they've taken a work of art like a series and they've just stripped out and added that's desecration. That you're not watching Hogan's Heroes, Cub. You say you don't
Right.
like it. You're watching a weird version where they've
Exactly.
rewritten. You're right. So the Cat's right. You can't tell me that you don't like Hogan's Heroes if you haven't seen the original. It's like you've only seen the Mona Lisa with the mustache on it, and you're like, oh, I don't like mustaches, so it's terrible. Well, maybe you should see the original version before you deliver your
Right.
opinion. Right.
Yes, I agree on that. I believe you that I haven't seen Hogan's Heroes because, as I said, I always thought this series is stupid because I saw one
And
or
you were
two
wrong.
episodes.
You were so wrong.
No,
It-
our
it's an
version
excellent series.
is stupid.
Okay,
Our
your
German
version is probably terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible,
It's got to be
really.
terrible.
Yeah.
I've read the kind of ways they changed the joke. They did stuff like when the Germans come in and say, "How you know who?" I don't know if we can even say his name on the deal, but
Yeah.
right? They said,
Right.
"Whoa, the corn is growing this high." That's the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. No wonder Cub
Jeez.
doesn't like it. Right?
Exactly. That's dumb. That's stupid.
I had to investigate it to find out what in the hell was going on. You notice Cub never said this is.
Yes, but I
So,
saw a review on Hogan's Heroes, which I really liked. Somebody reviewed a portion of episodes from the channels I normally sub to, and I liked that review. I thought, oh my god, this series it's not like I remember it. It seems to be much more interesting.
So I've been telling you this for years, and you didn't believe me. But now you watched a review.
Oh boy. Yeah, I remember Zeus talking about that the other day.
Yes. Yes, because it's from one of the channels
That you respect.
I really respect and it's one of the people who contributed to the 3-year anniversary video. Yes, my Spider-Man review. One of those 10 people, but sadly he doesn't make content anymore. And
What?
so yeah,
I guess we'll have to watch the stuff he made, huh?
Yeah, no, he deleted all his content, and he
He
closed
deleted it?
Yeah, he closed his channel.
my
He was
God.
afraid of this Copa thing here, which they announced back then. Can you remember when they said, "Oh, we have now to protect the children," and
Oh, I remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they made this made a big fuss about it, and it was nothing, as you can remember.
I do
But
remember.
some channels were so afraid, and he was one of the channels who got really afraid about that, and he deleted his channel. His channel is still there, but he deleted all his content.
Oh, that sucked. Well, at
Yeah, I
least he
know.
managed to get out the Hogan's Heroes video before he went down with the ship. And he
Yes.
convinced you.
Yeah, as I said, it's really sad. Some of the really talented smaller channels they are not making content anymore. So
Well, they
every time
still
when
have Bazzil to watch.
yeah, and every time when I watch my 3-year anniversary video, I remember, oh yeah, this channel and this channel really sad they are not there anymore. But some of them are still there, like Midnight's Edge, who also were part of the review, if you can remember.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. You know, Andre and them came on one of the early Cubs Corner show.
Yeah,
You should have
Andre.
stuck with Andre instead of going with me. You probably could have got him to host every show. He's
No,
so
but
much better than me.
Andre and Tom, and also here's the third guy from Midnight's Edge who is not there, and for some reason, I think he quit it also. They were all part of my Spider-Man review. I'm
We're
really
gonna have
proud
to
of.
go watch that again.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. Really, it's
It was a good review. We should watch it again sometime.
yeah, and the English version is much longer than the German version. Because on the German side, I didn't have all these contributors.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, do y'all want to move on to the next movie or stick with
Yes,
the Cub distraction?
we have
Cub
to.
distracted us for quite a while.
Hey, we have. We have this big bomb coming up. Don't forget that we have to face the Barbenheimer.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. Hey, we've got Kat here, and Kat got to watch Barbie, and I want to hear what she thinks about Barbie.
Well, I went to see Barbie, and it's I like it, but I don't like it. Like, I think they have a lot of jokes in it that I don't really think are funny. They talk
Are they
about
like male
gender.
jokes?
They've got male jokes, and they've got, I guess you'd say, female jokes, whatever. I guess they'd say both ways, depending on how you watch, how you look at it, because in the first part of it, it shows all the Barbies in Barbie Land, and, Barbie runs everything. Barbie is just like the generic name of each Barbie doll, even though they may look different or whatever. It's like a collective in my mind,
Like the board.
There you go. And, and stuff happens where they she finds out that she's just dancing one evening with the other Barbies, and this is the main Barbie of the whole movie. She questions death, if she's, and everybody like looks at her awkwardly, and she was feeling embarrassed, but she didn't know what embarrassed meant, because Barbies don't get embarrassed.
Yeah, and
Her
she was the only
relationship
Barbie. She was the only Barbie who has no purpose. Don't forget that. All the other
Right.
Barbies were something like a lawyer
Right.
Barbie or judge Barbie or something like that. But she was just the normal Barbie.
Yeah.
Everyday
And
girl.
they had Ken on there, and it's the same with the Kens. They're all Ken, but there's the main Ken, which is Ryan Gosling, and his relationship with Barbie is he waits for her every day at the beach, and she goes down, and he wants to get her attention, and he's supposedly not supposed to be happy unless she looks right at him or gives him that attention, and which she did. And he was trying to surf, and it's just paper waves, so he bounced off. And he acted like really
What's
helpless
that?
and stuff.
Paper
I didn't
waves?
like that. Paper waves, yeah. I thought it was
Yeah,
funny.
but he is regular Ken. He's not surfer Ken.
Right. Because there is a surfer Ken. There's all different kinds of Barbies and all different kinds of Kens.
So basically, the Ken's entire existence is predicated on the Barbie's
Yes, because that's how Barbie Land is set up. Because
attention.
that's how Mattel has set up Barbie Land.
And you notice the Kens are all homeless. They don't have any
Yeah.
home or
Yeah.
anything. So
They have nothing.
So it's a matriarchy. This
right. Well,
society.
this is the ultimate paradise of the feminist of our time. Is
Yeah,
we're
as I
supposed-
said,
now
as I
the
said,
men,
it's
the
a
Barbies,
matriarchy.
the Barbies can be any type of shape they want, but every single Ken has to be perfect physically.
And
Would
I
you-
don't get where that's happened because I have been into the store. I don't recall because my granddaughter plays with Barbie. I mean, I've got naked Barbies in my bathtub right now. She was just here. Always
awesome.
when that girl comes, naked Barbies. I have never seen a Barbie look really any different than what would be considered perfect by societal standards. You know,
So they
big
probably
boobs, real thin waist. I mean, I believe somebody, I can't remember who it was. It was a long while back. They did something where they wanted to see if Barbie's measurements would even be realistic, and they're not even realistic for a human. They're not. Oh boy, and yeah, well,
So if you're making a doll, you're gonna want to overemphasize certain sexual features.
well, they even bring that up in the movie too, that she doesn't have anything in her pants. It's like neither does he really, because it's just there's nothing there if you strip Barbie off. She got nothing there. Oh my God,
It's gonna
that's
be
so
bad
fun.
for her and Ken.
Yeah,
How in
you're
the
gonna
hell
have
are
no
they having
fun,
any fun? How are they
Yeah,
gonna
but
have any fun?
Yeah, but at
right?
the end of the movie, she becomes a normal woman or not.
Yeah, yes.
So
She,
overall, what did you think of the movie?
I liked it. Would I watch again? Yes, I would, because I really,
Okay.
just enjoyed watching it. I don't agree with everything in it. It's just a movie.
And that's
all.
how I think I'm going to go with this. This is a movie for women and girls, and we're just kind of along for the ride. I think every now and then they should be able to have a stupid Barbie movie and not worry about the politics, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they should.
Yeah,
Go to your
sorry,
movie, enjoy it.
I can't agree on that.
Of
Because
course not.
I watched it too, and what really pissed me off, the first half of the movie was kind of okay. I thought, yeah, okay, this is Barbie Land, whatever, and it was also a little bit cartoony and so on, which I liked. But the second half of the movie is constantly these speeches and this agenda-driven stuff, which I thought was just boring. I
Yeah.
got bored out of my mind in the second half of the movie.
I can see his point, because it did get a little bit more boring there in the second half of the movie. Now
Yeah,
he
they
points that
Women
out.
don't
gave
wanna watch
this
boring
speeches and
political
so
stuff.
on. Yeah, they gave constantly
They're
these
just being
speeches.
subjected to this. They went to go see their little Barbie movie, and the idiots injected politics into it. Most women
Yep.
don't agree with it, but they're just going to try to have fun. I'm going to give it
Yeah.
a thumbs up because the girls seem to like it, and it's not my movie. As Brie Larson would say, it's not made for me.
Yeah, I can't give it a thumbs up because I
I
think
don't think you get a vote.
I
I don't think you get a
like,
vote.
hey, wait a second. Is it like in Barbie that it's a matriarchy and the men are all Ken or what?
Yeah, that's basically the world. Did you not know this?
Yeah, but the thing is,
You haven't been captured yet. You're just a pawn running around. You don't realize what's going to happen. You're going to get captured eventually.
yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah, but ain't going to do it.
The message of the movie is kind of that the man shouldn't be treated equally like women. And this is a wrong message for me. Because at the end, what did they want? They just want to be treated equal.
Yeah,
But
that was
the
sad.
Barbies didn't even give them the chance to vote, because there was a voting at the end, and they used distraction that they don't go to vote. They at the end they fought each other here on the beach instead of going to the election. And so the Barbies again made a matriarchy, that the Kens were again like slaves, like or people without any
you're
rights.
slave, but it ain't that damn bad. You know what I mean? It looks like they have a lot of fun. The Barbies are not, overseers, and they're not out there picking cotton. They're out, having fun. It's not that bad.
Yeah, and as I said, I personally couldn't stand the movie because I thought I would really
but you
have
can't
to like
stand most movies.
No, but I would have really liked to see a fun Barbie movie, like in the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Which
maybe that's what we'll
were
get
really
next time.
Entertaining.
We're gonna have another one.
I really wish I would have seen her and Ken kiss. It would have been nice.
Oh,
when they started,
that's why Cub is upset.
With their stupid
if they had a
politics.
kiss, Cub would have loved the movie, right, Cub?
Yeah, as I said, I
as I said, you can't get by with as I said and yeah, but
yeah, but yeah, but. So,
I hope Killer Rabbit's still here to hear this.
Hey,
I hope you're out there, Killer Rabbit.
What did the Bazzil think of Barbie?
What?
What did Bazzil think of Barbie?
Oh, what did you think of Barbie, Bazzil? Are you there, Bazzil? I guess we lost him.
Oh boy.
The problem with Houston again.
I guess so. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
No, he's gone. He probably ran when you started asking him. He ain't stupid. He pulled his plug. Y'all people haven't streamed with us. You don't understand. And now he's back. We got to see his face for a second. He tried to come back too fast. He ran away quickly. There he is. Okay. Hey, Bazzil. What did you think of the Barbie movie?
I didn't see it.
Well, that's perfect.
Thankfully. But I heard the comments. It's a movie made for chickies, of course, no doubt.
Right. Are you even allowed to say chick?
Bazzil, I don't understand. There was a Barbie movie and you didn't run to the cinema to see it?
Yeah. It's shocking.
Shocking.
I think it's because the car broke down. Is that why you couldn't go, Bazzil? He doesn't even answer me.
That would be true. That was
there we go.
Partially true.
Partially true. You see, we can't get to the theaters without our vehicles, Cub. That refers back to our...
Yeah, the car's been down for a month, at least.
Okay, so there's another movie that I know Cat Claw has seen, so I'm going to toss it to her. If y'all are done with the Barbie thing, do we need to say anything more?
No, it's crap. It's enough.
Okay. But we've got a thumbs up from Cat Claw. We've got a thumb sideways from Bazzil. And I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I think women are going to look back at this and maybe think, hey,
No, because you are just a stupid Ken. You should really change your name.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
just go to the other side to that the Barbies like you. It's exactly like Ken.
Hey, have you ever seen me try to do one of my videos with the girls? They always throw me off.
Also, I want a second opinion. I want to know
They
what
they
Katie.
say one thing when
Greg, I want to know what Katie thinks about Barbie.
I'm gonna have to go and watch it with her and see what she actually says, and then I will come back. Since I can never get her to come on the show, I will give you her opinion, or maybe I can get her to make a video. But you've seen how they act.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can tell you, if Katie doesn't like Barbie, then you see our Ken Greg here turning again 180.
Hey, I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm saying it's a chick flick, and chick
Hey,
flicks
Right.
are
No, Greg, you are
different.
just saying you don't want to mess up with Barbie. That's the only thing you are saying.
No, if I really had a strong opinion, y'all would know about it. But
Oh yeah.
as it is, I've got this is a movie about a doll that all
Hey,
the
it's
girls
the
love.
Barbie movie. It's the
I
most
can't
important
make
movie of the century, as you know.
look. Girls aren't going to be able to give you a good opinion about like a GI Joe movie, right? But I'll say this: guys would never want a GI Joe movie that constantly put down women. We don't like that. I don't know who would like that, and I don't understand women who want to put down men. But this, I don't put that in that category. This is a different thing. Let them have their little Barbie movie and don't mess with them about it. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you, Greg.
I give you my true opinion from the heart. I always do. Now, I don't try to agree with Cub, and I don't try to disagree with him. Whatever he feels is how he feels. That's fine. Everybody gets their own opinion. I'll tell you this about Cub. He lets people express their opinion. He prefers if you actually see what we're talking about. But whatever opinion you have, I've never heard him disrespect anybody, and
No.
that is rare. And he has more cinematic experience and knowledge than any of probably the three of us combined, and more. But he never throws that in your face. He asks your opinion. He'll tell you your opinion is dog shit,
Yep.
and that's fine, right? Hey, that's straight up. But he doesn't disrespect you for your opinion. Your opinion is valid, and he wants to hear it. So, that's something I have to say about my buddy Cub. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Okay, do y'all guys want to move to the next item on the list, or just keep treading water for 5 hours?
Let's open the box with the bomb, okay?
Oh, what's a bomb?
The huge bomb.
Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, yeah.
All right. Okay, well, Cub, since you're the one who wanted to talk about it, I'm throwing it to you. What is Oppenheimer about?
Yeah, it's about the creation of the first atomic bomb, of the first two bombs, to be precise. It's a 3-hour epic, whatever, which comes off like a TV movie, which would be better on TV, I would assume, because most of the movie is just talking. And then you have this bomb explosion, and that's it. Has anybody seen it besides me, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen it. Have y'all guys had a chance to see it?
No, I wish I could have.
It's a historical drama. And while
I
Cub
love
makes
stuff
it
like
sound
that.
dry and boring, I enjoy historical dramas. It's one of my favorite types of movies, especially if they keep to the truth. Now,
yes,
did you know
it is based on a novel, by the
No,
way.
not totally at all, and they don't present the other side. Let's discuss the nuclear weapons and the use of nuclear weapons at the end of World War II. I've always found it fascinating that the bomb was created just after Germany was defeated in May of 45, and the bomb was first tested just a couple of months later. If we had come up with that bomb while Germany was still undefeated or partially defeated, we would have used it on German cities. Had we done that, I don't think the Germans would have been as happy with us.
Yeah, and
Let me ask you, Cub. If we had nuked Berlin and Dresden and some other cities at the end of a war when y'all guys were already clearly beaten, I mean, why kill 100,000 in Dresden with fire bombings night and day over several days? Why? That is a war crime. It has always bothered me. The fire bombings of Tokyo. Okay, people complain about the nuclear. You know what we were doing to the Japanese? We were firebombing all their cities. And I mean, waves of fire, firestorm. Have you seen? It's horrible, and we would have continued that. We killed off. We were destroying all their railroads. We were destroying their food supply. What would have happened to the Japanese in the next 6 months to a year? We would have lost tens of millions to starvation. That's what we were doing. We killed off all, and we would have done the same thing to Germany. We were that crazy.
The thing is, I want to leave out the actual politics back then. I would
leave out the politics.
I would rather just talk about the movie itself as a movie and as an entertaining movie, and not about the truth behind it. Because I have here somebody in the chat, for example, here, Mr. Anderson is here, and he doesn't believe this atomic hoax, what he calls it, at all, which I can understand, by the way. And this would
don't think the nuclear bombs exist?
It would go just too deep into the rabbit hole, which I don't want to do.
Okay, so we're okay. Well,
it's really this is not a politics stream. This is an entertainment stream, and so I just want to talk about the movie itself. And as a movie, I was really disappointed. Because it's here. What's the name of the director? Here, the Dark Knight director, Christopher Nolan. Yeah,
Nolan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As a movie, I thought it was distracting that it didn't go linear. It was constantly skipping time periods, 3 time periods, I think.
Well, it used a technique of the black and white scenes were supposed to be objectively true. The color scene were supposed to be the subjective truth from the book. Did you know that?
Yes, I know that, but still, I thought it was unnecessary to present it that way. This was just a gimmick because we had here clearly a TV movie, clearly, with one cinematic scene in it.
I thought the costumes and the sets were well done.
Yeah, but still, for me, this could also have ran on TV as a 3 or 4 hour, whatever you like.
Well, that's fair. It wasn't. You know what was weird is that Barbie and Oppenheimer got combined, because Oppenheimer's this weird historical drama about atomic bombs, and Barbie is this totally frivolous doll movie, and somehow because of a internet promotion, what caused the Barbenheimer phenomenon? Do you understand how that happened, Cub?
Yes, it was just a merchandising trick or advertising trick, which I thought was funny, but I really didn't care for it. I had to watch both movies anyway, and if I had to choose, I would have just watched Oppenheimer. That was the only one that I was interested in. The Barbie movie, I didn't really care for. Was surprised that it was entertaining in the beginning, but was also disappointed that it went with this agenda road, political stuff whatsoever, which I thought was awful. So, but both movies, I would never rewatch any of them.
Okay, so an interesting historical drama, which I can't comment on. All my comments are related to political stuff and the
No,
end of
you
the
can
war.
comment on. I just wanted to say don't want to go too deep into this rabbit hole.
Okay, I'll say this: if the atomic bomb hadn't been used at the end of the war, it would have cost tens of millions of Japanese lives. I think using the bomb saved lives, and I think also
I don't
if
agree. I don't agree on that.
I
at
know
all.
you disagree, but I gotta get out.
Because Japanese were already defeated when they used the bomb. They didn't want.
You say they're already defeated, but they were determined not to surrender. I've read books on the subject. The coup that they tried to pull off when the emperor actually did surrender.
And
you know about that?
Atomic bombs were not the reason that they have surrendered. They have surrendered.
Okay, you could say the Soviets.
No, they're afraid of the Soviets. Yes, that was the true reason. The atomic bombs had nothing to do with that. Because as you can remember, if you can remember, there were two of them. So after the first bomb, normally they should have surrendered, but they didn't. And after the second one, they even wouldn't have surrendered after the 10th or 20th one. They just surrendered because of the Russians.
It was a combination of the factors, Cub. It was the bomb and the Russians, and the fact that we were firebombing them. They were losing 100,000 people in a single firebomb raid. That's as much as they lost in both nuclear attacks. And we were starving them. We would have killed 20 to 30 to 40 million Japanese if we hadn't used the atomic bomb. I'm sorry, but I'm a historian, and that's my opinion. It's objectively true. They wouldn't have had any food. They would have died, and we wouldn't have cared. We were very bad people at the end of that war. You don't understand. I've talked to, World War II people, and they're very harsh.
Yeah. But Greg, this is exactly what I was talking about. I have a completely different opinion of that, which I just didn't want to turn this into a
yeah, we don't.
discussion.
You can give your opinion, or we can move on.
Yeah. As I already did. As I said, I see it.
I understand. I'm just saying, from my opinion, without the, maybe we didn't even use we might not have even needed the nuclear bomb. What you're saying is they would have surrendered because of the Soviet invasion, and that could very well be true. I think when the starvation hit eventually, a few months later, they probably would have surrendered then. But I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong to do it. I'm giving you a historian's analytical opinion.
Yeah, and for me, it's I talk about the bombing, by the way, in one of my videos, and I call it the biggest crime in human history, the biggest war crime, the atomic bomb.
But we killed more people in firebombing Tokyo and Dresden. So by the number of lives, probably those are bigger war crimes. And it's the same thing. Whether you use a nuclear bomb or you use 1,000 bombers with firebombs, you're doing the same thing. I'm sorry, but it's the same. It's horrible. It's a war crime.
Yes,
and we would have kept doing it. We would have kept doing it, and we would have cut off all their food, and we would have murdered them by the tens of millions. And that's a horrible, horrible thing. But maybe the atomic bomb stopped that. But I'll tell you this. If we hadn't used that atomic bomb against Japan, we would have used it somewhere. We would have used it in Korea. We would have used it against the Chinese or against the Russians. we would have used it, and it would have probably been a nuclear world war. And maybe, I think very probably the use of those nuclear weapons stopped a world war. A nuclear world war.
As I said,
You know, it was going to happen. One way or another, it was going to happen. It was inevitable. Once nuclear energy was discovered, and they discovered they can weaponize it, you know, man discovered they can weaponize it, it would have been the U.S., it would have been Germany or Russia would have used it and used it improperly. We used it carefully. We did a surgical strike, 2 surgical strikes, and it was done. Somebody else would come in and just kept annihilating and spread it, you know, caused a worldwide catastrophe. So, yeah, we did the right thing.
If you look at the writings of our generals like Curtis LeMay, he wanted a nuclear war. He wanted a big nuclear war. And the only thing that really stopped him was the horror of what had happened in Japan. And the American people did not want that nuclear war. And it took everything we could do to stop it from happening, because we're barely in control of this freaking monster we're riding over here of our own devising, the industrial complex for war.
Yeah, as I
but
said.
Anyway, Cub didn't want to get into all that. Nevertheless, we did. Is that all we need to say, or do we need to talk some more?
No, that's just about the movie itself. I don't know.
The movie, look, Oppenheimer, what Q was saying is whether Oppenheimer invented the stupid thing or not, it was going to get invented anyway. And if it had got invented later, it would have been used in a mass scale. I think that's a very reasonable and logical thing to say. So the use of these bombs then probably, almost certainly, prevented a massive nuclear war later.
Yeah, but the movie itself, would you recommend it as a movie you have to see on the big screen, or would you say
like you say, more of a TV movie? I'll give it a thumbs up, but it's kind of a boring historical drama where the guy, the stuff's going to get invented anyway. The way the movie presents it is without Oppenheimer, you never have any nuclear bomb. Well, that's crazy. It was going to get invented anyway.
It was already in the process. I think Germany had already
in the process. This guy was just one cog in the giant machine. Not even.
That was the disappointing part with the movie, by the way, was how they really built the bomb. They didn't really show. They left out so many things, so many factors that were also necessary.
Very necessary. And as a Palestinian, you really needed that information.
Yes. I was so disappointed.
Well, I would say as a German with some Palestinian heritage, that's how we would say it. Like, I'm an American, a Texan.
I can't recommend it as a construction building video here.
That's why you're mad, because you couldn't figure out how to build a bomb.
Yeah, it was not a very good construction video, I have to say.
Okay, so very quickly, did you get a chance to watch Pearl?
Yes.
Okay, so Pearl is the prequel to the X movie. The X movie is where some people out of Houston, out of a little nudie club or whatever, they go off to shoot an X-rated movie in the country, and they run into some unpleasant people, and things happen. But Pearl is one of the people from that movie, like 50 years before, and she's hanging out with her parents, and her father is like in a wheelchair and totally unable to move, and her mother's very strict. I thought overall the movie was kind of slow and boring. I thought it was elder abuse, and it was difficult. No, X was a different kind of movie. Okay. Cub didn't like X, but I did like X.
I thought it was interesting. It wasn't bad.
Did you see X, Q? I mean, Bazzil?
Yeah.
So what did you think of X?
It wasn't great, but it was interesting. I mean, it did give you a perspective about the X industry. You know, I mean, it is abusive, but the overall movie wasn't bad at all.
Okay,
Good acting.
and
The storyline was good.
and of course we see the giant gator that we see in X is also in Pearl. It's at the same property. Overall, I'm going to give this one a thumbs down because it just wasn't well written. The acting was subpar. It dragged in places, and it just the story wasn't interesting. And there was elder abuse.
The story was
What did you think of
kind
it,
of
Cub?
it was kind of constructed because we know this woman, this girl is going to become this psychopathic elderly here with her husband, and so she acted partially completely weird without any reason, and also all the murders she committed were not really backed up by a story or something like that, because most of the people she killed out of nowhere just because
She suddenly
especially,
snapped.
yeah, especially her friend here. There was really
Yeah,
no
I
reason
couldn't
to
believe
kill
she
him.
killed her friend for nothing.
Yeah, it was really
I mean, this is a person she grew up with. This is an
and
old time friend. And if
my problem with this kind of movie stories, I don't have any character where I can root for,
yeah,
because and if you can't root for the main characters, then this movie is pointless.
I think Pointless sums it up. I
Yeah,
wouldn't recommend watching it. I think maybe 1/3 of the people who liked X will like this movie. And let's be clear, Cub didn't like X, but I
yeah,
did, and I think Cub has a point on this. I just don't. I don't think people are going to like it. I I watched it. I'm glad I watched it, but it wasn't very good. It wasn't interesting or compelling. Yeah, I can't recommend it. And I'm
yeah,
trying to find stuff for y'all to watch.
yeah, and the thing is, I only recommend movies that have rewatchability, where I say yes,
Oh,
this is because most of the movies they just waste your time, and this was also it was just a time waster for me. The first one was also a time waster, X, but it still there was a little bit more to it than to this one.
now on the first one, it's very rare that you have anything set out of Houston where the people talk in accents that could be Houston. Houston, you had the one cowboy guy. Clearly, his accent was North Texas. The rest of them could have been from Houston. That's rare. So I appreciated that. Which and the
Yeah, but
story wasn't bad. They go out into the country. There's some crazy folks out there. When you drive out there, have y'all guys ever been out in the country where all the radio stations turn to preachers? And I
It's been
know
a
what that's like.
while.
Yeah, so especially if you're down the Bible Belt, and it kind of feels creepy. It kind of feels like, even though these are religious people, like they're maybe a little too religious, and they could
Feels
snap.
cultish.
Yeah, almost like a cult.
Oh yeah, if you take a cruise down to East Texas, going through Rusk and Altoy and Atoy and Alto and Atoy and Lufkin and some other places in the evening and at night, everything shuts down around 6 o'clock, and it
Yeah, and
gets
the people are
really
weird.
eerie out there.
It's eerie. It's weird. You'd have
Palestine's
to
the
be
same
there.
way.
Yeah, you'd have to.
It's
And
really spooky.
imagine you're a group of people out of a strip club in Houston, and you're there to secretly film an X-rated movie. Bad things could happen. Everybody's
Oh yeah,
heavily armed. They're very religious, and you got different colors mixing. You got
and
possibly
Oh, I bet
Yankee.
that went in
they're a
great.
very close knit community. They don't take kindly to outsiders at all, not even visitors. I found that out.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go anywhere without somebody, without somebody else living there that you know. Like a friend, you go somewhere with a friend. If you go by yourself, you kind of
I
get,
mean, you'd probably be
not like
fine,
they're gonna, they're gonna hurt you or anything, but they're
but
just gonna,
obviously, you could disappear and end up in the bottom of a well.
exactly.
That's how things go out in the deserted parts of Texas. Y'all
Yeah,
people
and
don't
nobody
know.
will ever know.
Nobody will ever know.
There's wild animals out there that could knock you upside the head, drag you out into the woods, and that'll be the end of you.
Yeah, you don't want to
No
piss people
bones, no
off
nothing left.
out in the middle of nowhere in the edges of Texas. That's all I'm going to say about
Huntsville
it.
especially.
It has a real feel to it in that I've been some places like that, but I
Huntsville is another
survived.
real, really eerie place. You really don't want to be
Well, that's where we
anywhere near.
execute people in Texas. Up at
Used to.
up at the Huntsville unit. Okay,
That's
so I
true.
guess that's enough for Pearl. Do you have anything else to say about it, anybody?
No, not
No?
really.
Okay, so I know that Kat has got to see Last Voyage of the Demeter. We've got a freaking vampire movie, huh?
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm gonna let her take the. What do you think, Kat? What did you think about the movie?
Well, I did the best I could to watch it, and I did. I had some difficulties here and there, but I'm having to look through Hey Honey and stuff, like a lot of pop-ups, but that's.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
On that site from Cub.
Yeah, it's all right. He explained. He's like, because his stuff's in German and he's got to find it for English, and that. So I'm probably going to end up asking Jazz or something if he knows his places, so
that would
maybe
be
I
helpful.
can, have a better watching experience next time.
Right.
But it's about the ship in the book Dracula by Bram Stoker that took Dracula from his homeland to
His homeland's Romania, right?
yeah. Why is it I keep thinking I wanted to see something about Bulgaria on there? And
I don't know. The
'cause I had to
Bulgarians were big in the Cold War.
he was Romanian. I know he was, but
I think Romania.
I'll have to.
We got a
Yeah,
European.
Romania is correct. Or is the old
Yeah, it
Soviet bloc.
is. I don't know why I keep wanting
A
to say that
small
that's
town
what it
called
said.
Transylvania.
Yeah, exactly. And they showed him taking him to the ship, using his coffin and stuff. And they had a doctor. He was a black guy. He went to Cambridge. He was really smart. He was wanting to get on the ship, and they wanted strong people. The owners of the ship did. And they picked him finally because he saved the owner of the ship's grandson, because Dracula's coffin almost fell on him. The guy that they did pick before him to go onto the ship, he noticed there was a dragon symbol, which is Dracula's symbol, on the coffin, and he said that their whole ship was going to be cursed. He left. He was done with the job right then. He's like, I'm done. Nope, none for me.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with a curse.
No. So then they continue on anyway, and it was just all downhill from there. It really was for those people. And man, I'll tell you, when I seen Dracula the first date, it reminded me of Salem's Lot, the way he looked.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it reminded me of that ears.
You think it was more like Count Orloff?
That too. I mean,
Yes,
it's all
like
similar, I feel.
like Nosferatu. He was more
Yeah,
created like
Nosferatu or Count Orloff.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
was reminded of. Go ahead with your review. What happens then?
And they find this girl, and she didn't have much because they went down in the strongholds. They found her after all the animals got killed. So he went through and killed the animals. At this point, they know there's something wrong, but they don't know what. You know, and they just keep. Like I said, I had trouble watching this movie, looking, and they find her, and the doctor told them, you know, she needs blood. You're gonna have to give up blood. At this point, they're out of animals, so they're running low on supplies, and they still have 2 weeks before they're supposed to dock. That's a long time.
So Dracula's eating the animals?
Yeah, he was eating the animals that they had. He ripped the dog in two.
Oh man.
I recall right. Yeah, it was pretty good. The gore. That's one thing I did like about the movie, the gore factor. And then I'm sorry. Part of
And
it
you're
I
a
had
cat
to,
owner.
yeah. Well, you know, the bad thing too, I couldn't pause it either because I guess that's, you know, the cost of free movies too. I couldn't pause it. So like when I had to walk away, I'm missing pieces of this movie. So I can't tell you what happened in certain parts.
Oh no. Well, Cub's here.
Hey, I can tell you what happened. Nothing.
Cub's
Bingo.
here.
Because most of the time it was
Jesus.
boring, and also it was not faithful to the novel. It's supposed to. It is about one chapter in the novel. It's based on the diary of the captain's log or something like that. And in the novel itself, there are not these passengers here, like this black doctor or whatever, and also there is not no woman, whatever, and also the ship doesn't get destroyed at the end, because the ship has to turn into the haven that the crates get to the castle. So it doesn't make any sense that it gets kind of destroyed at the end here, and so that separates from the book, and also the woman, she was kind of explanator 2000, because first off, she was a kind of snack for Dracula, and that's the reason why she didn't turn like the others was because of the blood transfusion, or what? I didn't understand that, because at the end she gets bitten a second time, and then she turns because of that. Yeah, sure. And the only guy who didn't get bitten was the black guy, which turns at the end into the Dracula hunter. So that's why I was joking that this is supposed to be a prequel to Blackula or something like that. Yeah, maybe this is the origin story.
That's funny.
Because obviously he can't catch Dracula, and so he has to be turned at some point when he's hunting him, and that's why we have a Blackula. I guess. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care. I thought that this thing was.
You don't care?
Yeah, because this thing was not faithful to the book, and when movies do that, then I don't care for them.
How did you like the way they had the girl there as like a ultimate Mary Sue character?
That was awful, and also the end fight was awful. This all takes away from the original story.
It was suspenseful. I would say it was suspenseful. It had a decent looking monster. They didn't use him all that much. They should have had more Dracula stuff. But I don't know.
It was a stupid idea to make a movie out of this small passage, section of the book.
I would give them point. They're trying to do something different. Rather than just remaking the same thing, they took a chapter out of it, and I had never seen a movie about the voyage over. So I thought that was an interesting concept.
I didn't know either.
No. Why the hell had it to be Dracula. You could just make a stupid vampire movie. And you wouldn't have
Right.
to had any restrictions or whatever, but they didn't have enough faith in their own story. So they
Well, they wanted to.
relabeled it as Dracula. I tell you,
If
this is the
if
same
they're
thing.
coming across on the Demeter, it has to be Dracula. This is from every Dracula movie. You know, they may not show it, but it's part of the book. So it finally got made, and while it wasn't a great movie, it was watchable. It had a decent monster. I'm gonna barely give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, but I can tell you something. Why
Okay.
not making a movie about about this creature that gets transported from Transylvania to London? That's the only information we get. We never get to see the name of the ship. And then he can tell his story, and then people would say, "Oh, this could be this how Dracula came over there." But they
Yeah,
never.
that would be a
they
better
could-
way to do it.
Yeah, and they could do whatever they want, and people would say, "Yeah, this is a kind of like this passage in the novel, but it is not the novel because they never say it's the Demeter, and so they are free to do what they want."
Come on, now let's
Well,
be honest.
do people even know how Vlad became Dracula,
Yeah.
the vampire? Do they really understand that?
Oh, I did. I watched that shit on History Channel a long time ago.
He
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
well, he got
Can't hear Buzz.
Oh, we have again voice problems.
I think Dracula got him. He was going to reveal the secret.
He's
Oh
muted.
no! I
He's
told
muted.
him not. I told him not to take this passage on the Demeter. He didn't want to
Right.
listen.
Basil's
Yeah.
always trying to reveal
Yeah.
secrets, and now
Yes.
Dracula has bitten him. We're
I
lucky
told
if
him,
he survived.
hey, I told him it's a reason why it's so cheap. This passage on the Demeter, but he didn't want to listen.
Now Basil always goes for the cheap price.
There he is.
I hear some hissing. That might be him. We were talking about you, Basil, and it
I
wasn't good.
know, I'm listening. That's
but,
where this came from.
This is really a thing that I don't like. I don't like when you have no faith in your own product and you have to relabel it, saying, "Oh yeah, this is the Joker original story. This is the Dracula original story." Yeah, sure. That I do something like that when I don't have faith in my work. Then I relabel it.
You don't have faith in your work and you relabel it?
Yeah, if I wouldn't have faith in my work, I would relabel it to say, "Oh yeah, it's
Have you ever done that?
something." No, never, because I have always faith in my work.
Man, I need to
No, but-
relabel all my stuff.
No, but the thing is, this movie I think is completely
Awesome.
unnecessary. What did you think about it, Greg?
You know, there wasn't enough of the monster. It was slow. It was boring. There was too much talking. We had the girl boss trope of the Mary Sue and the black doctor, which, you know, it's possible. So I'm not gonna buy. I don't care that the guy was black or that she's a girl. I think it was okay. Their acting was pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. And I like the cinematography. I like the sets. I like the costuming. Overall, I'm gonna barely give it a thumbs up. Barely.
Wouldn't
Even though I acknowledge everything you said is true, this wasn't a bad movie. This wasn't a bad movie. It's like we were talking.
Wouldn't you think this was much better work as an episode for a horror?
Oh yeah,
anthology or
if
something
you'd
like
put
that?
something like this in that midnight mass series,
or even
this is
or
where
even Creepshow,
this is
or
where
even
something like that.
Tales from the Crypt. That would be an awesome short episode. It's 30 minutes or 45 minutes, something like that. And then it turns out at the end it was the Demeter, but the whole time and you wouldn't have to have these fight scenes in it or something like that. It would just be this uncanny passage that they would show that people were
It's like
disappearing from the.
if they showed the passage on Midnight Mass to the island, like if they went back and decided to do like a special episode, that's where this would be perfect. You take a series like Midnight Mass, and you've got a vampire creature which isn't necessarily Dracula, probably isn't at all, and you transport him over, and you say, okay, we've already had the story of what happens when he gets to the island. What if something went on the boat on the way over? That's where this would be a perfect story.
Yes, exactly. And as I said, in some anthology or even here in this Midnight Mass series, something like that. The problem with this movie for me is this is kind of a short story because, as I said, it is just based on the few pages from the novel, and you can't make a full movie out of that. It's because there's not enough going on, and it destroys completely the atmosphere. Because normally you shouldn't have to see so much in that. This works much. The horror from this journey comes from the things that you don't see, that you because they have no clue what is going on. The people on this boat normally, and just people are disappearing or getting ill or whatever, and this is where the horror comes from. It doesn't come from any horror scenes or something like that. So it's a wrong approach to tell the story.
I'll be right back. Kat, you take over for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, and Kat, what did you think about the ending here, where the doctor is now hunting Dracula in London or something like that?
Yeah, when it went to that, like I was sitting there, it was like, okay, it's not like it's Van Helsing or anything. So it's like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
You know?
Is he supposed to be Van Helsing? I don't know, because
Right.
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it
That
really
that the
doesn't.
danger with Dracula is already known now in London doesn't also make no sense, because in London they
No.
have no clue that he's dangerous, but
Right.
now they know. So it destroys the real story of the novel.
Yeah, it really does. You're right. If they'd have made this like as just like a standalone movie, yeah, it would have been pretty good. You know, I'm not saying it's awful. It's like it's watchable, but it's just yeah.
It's not awful. The only awful thing with it is that it is connected to Dracula.
Yeah,
Because
that's
as a
it.
movie for itself, it would be kind of okay. I wouldn't have any problem with it as a movie. But
Right.
to connect it with the best known novel of all time about vampires, that is just lazy for me. It's doesn't work for me. And by the way, I put the movies for next time. I put them here in the chat, and I also sent
Okay,
it.
cool.
I did
It looks
Equalizer.
like a good list
Yeah,
too.
I did send it to you also on Discord, to everybody, so that you know for the next time which movies come up, and also the dates behind the movies are the dates where they are supposed to come out. By the way.
So
When's
it's
your
all right. So you've
stream
got the
next?
Equalizer 3, A Haunting in Venice, The Expendables 4, Saw X, and what else? The Exorcist. Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yes, they on the dates when they come out are written behind them, so that you know when to watch out for them. so that also that the people know which movies we are talking next time about.
Ah, that's helpful.
So-
Normally, you don't give us a list till the last minute.
No,
So Five Nights at Freddy's would be October 27th. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it's in-
All right.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but maybe this one comes out too late. I don't know.
You got it kind of backwards there. It makes
Yeah, because our stream is
Doesn't that
supposed
come
to
out
be
after
on-
27/10.
on October 29 is our next stream.
Yeah, that's 2 days before Halloween.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's the Halloween stream. so
So
kind of.
everybody should come up with a scary movie for the Halloween stream. Do you got an idea which scary movie you want to talk about, Kat?
No, I'd have to think about that.
No, we got a couple of months. What about you, Bazzil? Do you have a
Not
scary
yet.
movie?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I thought we were doing everything months early, so I would ask.
It could be the story of Bazzil. That's quite scary in itself.
You saying you might not
Perils.
survive
The
4 months?
perils of the life of Bazzil.
And by the way, The Haunting in Venice is the new Perot movie with Kenneth Branagh, by the way.
Oh, really?
Hercule Poirot, yeah. It's the third
Nice.
Perot movie.
Bazzil was just at a party with his cousin who's 100 years old. He's a World War II veteran. Can you believe that?
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, and he was actually dancing like a teenager last night. It was amazing.
Right? Isn't that something? I told him he ought to put it up on his channel.
I will eventually.
hey,
He was even
oh, there
given
you
an honor guard last night by World War II vets. That was amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, very cool.
There's not very many people of those vets left.
Nope.
Okay, so, well, that was an exciting update of what's going to happen on the next Cubs Corner. I think that's
Yeah,
the
and-
very first time Cub has come up with a list months early. This is
That's
probably
nice,
because
too.
And what is with our list for today? Which movies are still on the list?
Okay, we have an exciting Cobwebs and Meg 2. Those are the last two. So which one do you
Okay.
want to do first?
Cobweb, because I thought this is also an unnecessary movie. It was time waste completely. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't care for anything what was going on. But you have recommended it, so tell us what is up with Cobweb.
Well, it's one of the movies I watched at the horror convention. So I was trying to include a little bit of my experience there. Okay, so you've got a young boy. He's having trouble at school. He gets in fights and stuff. But back at the house, they've got what's the name of the actor who plays his father? And he's from he plays the #1 guy on The Boys, the Superman character.
Yeah, I know which you mean, but I don't.
Okay,
have
so
the
he plays like
name.
a really mean father, and his mother's kind of weak, and he gets punished. He gets put down in the cellar, and I mean this is a true cellar with cobwebs, no light, and he's just stuck down there for days or weeks. I'm not sure how long. It turns out he's got a sister who's like some sort of creature who can climb walls. He deals with his parents. He ends up murdering his parents with rat poison. And at the same time, this boy who he'd had a fight with at school, they show up. This is Halloween night, and they show up, I guess, to kill him or harm him. They're showing up with axes and knives and baseball bats, and they just walk in the front door. I'm telling you, if that was down south, they would have got bam, shot right outside the door. Bam, 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 bam. But
Yeah,
apparently,
but don't forget he hurt one of them. He threw one.
Yeah,
of
he
them
broke his leg.
down the stairs.
That's what I said. You know, it was a retaliation for his fight at school, which basically it wasn't a fight. He just waited and pushed him down the stairs. They really kind of make it like the sister took control of his body and pushed him down the stairs, because it doesn't seem like he really did that on his own. But the sister is some kind of demonic creature, and he has a teacher who wants to help him. And there's a whole story that goes on. I'm not going to spoil it, as I usually don't, but I thought it was a pretty good movie and worth watching. A horror movie. One of the better horror movies I saw at the horror convention. So I put it on the list. And of course, Cub hates it.
No, my problem with the movie was not that it was not that it was a terrible movie or something like that. No, it wasn't. It was well made, but I didn't had any character to root for. There was no character there where I said, yes, okay, I'm rooting for
the young
this
boy
one.
who's being abused.
I don't know. He even killed his parents, and also how he how he hurt this other boy, which he also he could have died to get pushed down the stairs like that. Is really dangerous. So
maybe in Germany those stairs are dangerous. In America, we push people down the stairs all the time. It's fine. Sorry, I've been drinking. I'm just having fun.
You're good.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
It is wrong. Uh-oh. We lost somebody. Oh, it's Kat. She's back.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was 2 times even in there.
Okay,
No, but,
so
as
I
said,
I agree, and it was really weird. In a lot of, I thought they overplayed the father being a bad guy. It seems like they can only write fathers as these horrible people. You know, I mean, his son is clearly in being traumatized, and what does he do? He puts him in the cellar, like as something out of the 18th century. Is that what we don't have cellars down here? Is that what y'all do up north? Do y'all stick kids in cellars?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so. So I thought that, and the teacher, I thought the actors did a good job. As Cub said, the movie was well done, but it has some flaws. But come on, this is a cheap little horror movie. We're living in 2023 when most movies are absolute crap, and Cub says it's well done. That means you should probably check it out, and then you'll figure out maybe Cub was wrong. Maybe it's a movie that you like, because Cub has odd taste.
yeah, as I said, for me, the main character was not sympathetic enough that I would say could root for him, because.
But overall, you said the movie was well done.
Yeah,
so that's
because
something.
he was mean to this other boy. He killed his own parents, and these are just things I don't know.
He killed his parents after his sister made him think that they made it look like they were about to murder him, because he went out into the backyard, and his dad was making him dig a hole supposedly to bury pumpkins, but I think he thought he was going to get buried. So you could see as a reaction, you're a young child. They should never have showed that child where this rat poison were. They just leave rat poison, a giant bag of it, accessible to anybody. That's not how we do it. That's always locked up, especially from children. I thought that wasn't true. Do y'all lock up your rat poison over there, Cub?
Absolutely.
I thought this was again a short story, would have worked better as a short story. This was not enough material for a whole movie. There was not. I don't know what. At the end, I asked myself, what is this movie? What is this movie telling me? What it is supposed to tell me? And this one didn't tell me anything.
It tells you that you're at a horror convention.
Yeah, maybe. And also,
okay, if there's no more comments, we're going to move to the very last item on the list. Can y'all believe that?
Yeah, let's move.
We've only been
Let's
going
move.
4.5 hours or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
3.5.
yeah,
3.5.
yeah. Let's bring up the big shark.
Yes, shark. It's Meg 2. Meg 2. Megalodon. The biggest shark in human history. And this time, it's times 3. So, what do we have? We have a movie that reflects back to many other movies. Did you catch all the callbacks they had, Cub?
Yes. You mean like the Abyss or
Yeah,
Fantastic
The Abyss,
Journey,
Alien.
uh, Alien, of course, and
Jaws
of
2.
course,
We have multiple Jaws 2.
yeah, Jaws 2, and also we had this Kraken thing.
Oh, the
And
Kraken! Release
yeah,
the Kraken!
yeah, and we had also scenes here with small dinosaurs, which
Oh, yeah. The very beginning of the movie was like Jurassic
yeah,
Park, wasn't it?
yeah, or more like Jurassic World, I would even say.
Yeah,
And
Jurassic World. That's a better reference.
yeah, and so it was a hot potch, and also we had Die Hard again,
Yes.
as usual.
When talking about the callbacks, if you remember Brody, Sheriff Brody, made bullets with poison in them. The only time I ever saw that in a shark movie, that was in Jaws 2. And in this one, the black guy had his backpack, which had bullets with poison in them. And of
Yeah.
course, he had a Desert Eagle, which awesome gun, 50 caliber, much more effective against a shark than what Brody was using. We have also when he bangs the. You remember when he's attracting the shark by banging the wire or whatever? That was another that Brody does that at the end of Jaws too. There was just it was a whole bunch of callbacks to other shark movies. Do you remember Bazzil? Do you remember the end of Deep Blue Sea where the black guy, what was his name? Big actor. He was giving the speech, and the shark comes up and eats him.
It was the Pulp Fiction guy or not? Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Anyway, they have an homage scene to that where the girl is giving, the woman is giving her speech, rah rah rah, talking, and the shark eats her. They have yeah. Come on. Okay, it's a shark movie. This is the summer. It's a fun movie. I'm gonna say that I like the movie. Now I did a review coming out of it. I didn't mention a lot of this stuff. We did have one person in the theater have a seizure from the stuff going on at the beginning of the movie. It was so weird, the lighting and stuff. I had to close my eyes a couple of times just because it was bothering me. And then I see other people twitching in their seats. I'm like, damn, that ain't good. So yeah, there's a definite warning for seizures.
Yeah, but my biggest criticism with this one is I don't mind a stupid shark movie with action and fun, but the first hour 20 minutes was so boring because
it
we had
was
this
very boring.
Die Hard situation and
it was nearly unwatchable. Would you call it almost unwatchable? You couldn't see what was going on, and the dialogue was bad. The writing was it was stupid.
And the characters were acting so weird, especially this Chinese guy. It didn't make any sense how he was acting the whole time. He was acting like a joker or like a the funny guy or whatever, but he wasn't funny. He wasn't funny at all. He was annoying. His action, you always thought, what the hell is he? Why does he do that? Why does he bring himself in danger or other people in danger for no reason? This is not how a scientist would act normally. So when you say that Jason Statham is acting or his character is more grounded than the other than his from his friend, then you have really a problem.
Yes, I agree. But for a fun summer popcorn shark movie, okay, if you throw, I would, you could easily get rid of 45 minutes, especially from the front. And the movie made no sense when it was doing all this stuff. I didn't buy a lot of it. I could. There's no way those people could have walked 2 kilometers across the sea floor.
Yeah, and also
I don't buy that.
without enough air, because they say at the beginning we don't have enough air for that.
Right,
But
and
at the
these
end, it's
mostly,
no problem.
it's mostly women, and they're having to walk with these extremely heavy suits and stuff, and they're having stuff that's trying to kill them that gets there. I mean, they walk slowly across this whole trench, and at the last second, the shark shows up. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. You know, there were some problems. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I had fun, but the first part of the movie was dog shit, and you can skip
Yeah.
that if you want.
It was really boring, and the only interesting
It
parts
was
for
boring,
me
but the end of the movie
was
wasn't boring.
the only interesting parts were just the kraken, because the sharks themselves, I thought they were not convincing. The effects were
So, do you
really.
think it's Cthulhu, a normal octopus, or a kraken?
I think it's
Because
a
it acts
normal.
like a kraken.
Yeah, if I think it's a normal kraken, but it
A
was
normal
interesting.
kraken. Only
Yeah,
a German would say a normal kraken.
Yeah,
Such thing as a
yeah,
normal kraken.
but it was for me the only entertaining part was really the kraken. What does the kraken do? Because I watched back then a movie in the cinema as a child from Inoshiro Honda, which was not a Godzilla movie. The guy who invented the Godzilla made also other movies with monsters, and one of them
Right?
was about an island where 3 monsters were constantly walking by, and one of these monsters was a kraken, which I thought was cool as a child when I saw that.
Oh man, I know that movie.
What was it called? What was it called?
I can tell you the German title. Monster.
Yeah,
des
let's hear it in
Traums.
German.
Yeah, but the English title,
What?
I don't know. It's from the 70s, I think 76 or something like that, 75. And as I said, it was so
It
entertaining
was
as a
actually
child.
pretty good. Yeah, for its
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it was so entertaining. And as I said, there were 3 monsters who were constantly fighting, coming by, and at the end, they were fighting each other. And one of the monsters was a turtle from Super Mario. Here, the turtles
Woohoo.
here with the spikes on the back. And one of them was a crab, and one of them was this crake. And I just loved that as a child to see that. And it reminded me a
that's
little bit
awesome.
on that. And I would rather have seen something like that, the whole movie, instead of just in the last 25 minutes. And the rest of the movie was really a slug to get through.
Yeah, that's fair. The last 45 minutes is the best of the movie. And the first part of the movie was unwatchable. I would have trimmed the whole thing down to about an hour and 20 minutes, cutting out a lot of that initial stuff, and I think they would have had a really good movie. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a good movie there. It just needs to be edited. You think that's fair,
Yeah.
Cub?
Yeah, when you make from the last 45 minutes, when you make from them 25 minutes, because in the last 25 minutes they come to the island, and the whole time before that, 1 hour 20 minutes, because I looked on my watch when I was watching it, because
Oh, man.
I
You
waited.
still
that
wear a
they-
watch?
No, I
Do you-
looked on the watch.
Do
on
you
my
have a
PC.
grandfather clock?
But the thing is, I was waiting that they finally come to the island, because it was also called Fun Island. If you can
Oh, man.
remember.
Let's all go to Fun Island. Sounds
Yeah.
awesome. Woohoo!
Yeah, and it took so
Cubs
long till
paying.
they got there. It took so long till they got there. So, yeah.
So
So,
overall, would you give it a thumbs up or down? It's a summer popcorn shark movie. How can you turn on this movie? I think he's
no,
going to give it a thumbs up. Wait, let's wait.
no,
Let's get
it's a
wait.
thumbs
Now,
down.
what do
Sorry.
you think Cub's going to do, Cat? Is he going to be thumbs up or down?
You're gonna ask me to guess something like that?
Yeah. Which way is Cub going to go?
I'll say he's gonna go down.
Okay, Bazzil, which way is Cub going to go?
I'd say thumbs down.
Okay. So
Yes.
which way are you going, Cub?
Thumbs down. I could
Oh
stand
no!
Do it.
one short scene with a kraken at the end is not enough for me. Sorry.
You love the kraken. You never have a kraken in your shark movies. You finally get a kraken in the shark movie. You were like, I just want a kraken, and you finally get it, and you still give it thumbs down. Isn't that a
but
little sad?
the kraken in the 1975 movie was much more entertaining.
Well, if that's 75, of course it's going to be funner. Everybody was having fun back then. They were probably doing coke.
That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. Yep.
and you could see the face of the kraken back then. By the
Oh
way,
man.
it looked so stupid.
I remember it. It was good. That was a fun
Yeah.
movie. We got to review that movie now. We'll have to find out what the stupid movie was, and we'll have to review it. We'll
Yeah,
add it somehow.
It's really
Even if you don't want to, we'll talk about it. Woohoo! Man,
Yeah.
that's the last thing on the list. I can't believe it. Let's double check. No, there's one more. Gran Turismo. Okay.
Oh yeah, Gran Turismo or Gran Torino? Gran Turismo. Yeah.
I
it's
don't know
a
how
game.
y'all pronounce it in the rest of the world. In Texas, it's Gran Turismo.
Yeah, and the thing with
Let's
this,
ask Bazzil. How would you pronounce this movie, Bazzil?
Whatever the movie again?
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Well, there you go.
So,
You see how
Very
you
easy.
see how that you see how that worked? Go.
yeah. So for the people,
I could pronounce like a cub.
Yeah, do it like Cub.
Gran Turismo.
There you go.
I like that movie.
so for the audience
ahead,
who don't know Gran Turismo, it's a game on the PlayStation, and it's a very famous game because it's so realistic.
A
It's
racing game. A very
Racing game.
realistic racing game.
Yeah, and you have to build your car and things like that, and it's supposed to be very realistic. I never played it. I just have seen it one time, I think. Have you ever played it, Greg?
I believe I have played it, but I can't be sure. It rings a bell. I've played so many of these racing games on the various systems that I think I did play it. I remember pole position. I remember so many of these things. And Gran Turismo's in the list. It was a hard game to play because they're trying to be so realistic, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need that much realism. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with me the same, by the way. I like more the unrealistic car races, like Mario Kart or something like that. I don't really need this realism. If I want to realism, I drive a real car. Then I have my real.
Yeah, or you come to Texas and we'll strap you in. You get to see what we do here.
So who has?
I've owned some racing cars myself, like a 74 Cougar with a 351 Cleveland. I mean, yeah.
Who has even seen the movie? By the way,
Fun.
could
I don't know. We've all owned racing cars except Cub, but Cub did have his German car from his movie. What was that car, Cub?
BMW.
A BMW. That's Bavarian.
Now we're
Bavarian Motor Works. Is that right? Bavarian Motor Works.
Yeah, it's right. And the car.
talking
got
a racing vehicle.
the car got destroyed during the movie production. Not destroyed because of the movie
Destroyed.
production. Yes, my brother. It was the car for my little brother, and he put it on a tree.
Oh man.
Because we wanted to go to a concert, and he had to hurry. A friend who wants to come with us, we had to hurry to the hospital, and when he came back with the friend, it was in the middle of the night. He put it on a tree, the car. It has nothing to do with the movies, but from then on, we couldn't make any shots from the car anymore for the movie.
No, no.
That was a problem.
Yeah, that's
but,
definitely a problem.
yeah, and I just wanted to ask, who has seen the movie here, Gran Turismo? Who could see it besides me?
I have. What about y'all guys? Did y'all get a
didn't get
chance
to.
to see Gran Turismo?
No, because I thought you meant Gran Torino. Remember?
That's right. Okay, so we can have. Did you see Gran Torino, Cat?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. It was good.
Well, we can discuss Gran Torino or Gran Turismo. What do you want to do,
Yeah.
Cub?
Yeah, it's kind of the same movie. The one with Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood and the
Yeah,
one without.
It's a similar. It's similar.
Similar
And we've all
movie,
seen
yeah.
Gran Torino. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gran Turismo. The thing is, this is really the only movie today I recommend. I
Oh my
really liked
God.
it.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
I'm sorry, but wow. I'm
Right?
shocked too.
Yes,
I wasn't
because
expecting that. I want to hear about this movie that you like.
yeah, it's the new movie from Neil Blomkamp, who made District 9 and
Ooh.
Elysium, and he makes a kind of comeback with this movie.
And you know
Because he
this is a true story.
Yeah, and it's a true story, which I didn't know that, by the way. When I watched the movie, I thought, oh, this is really interesting
wild-
that they're
wild
using
sport.
real names like PlayStation and Nissan, and I thought, oh my God, they are really using real names here. I thought the whole time, and then at the end, it turned out that it was a real event, and it even turned out even more that Neil Blomkamp was criticized that he sticked so faithful to the original story instead of making a more entertaining movie. And I thought, oh my God, this is really cool. This is really more like of a documentary.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how much I liked. What was that series we had about the making of The Godfather?
Yeah, the Offer.
The Offer, yeah. I liked it about at the same level I liked that. I thought this was a really well done movie, and
Yes,
I recommend it.
And talking about the technical aspects, was really on a high level.
It had beautiful shots of the racing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was right there. It's the best I've seen. Ford versus Ferrari had some good scenes like this, but it's so good, so well done.
And it goes so much into the vein of this other game adaptation, Tetris, because it's about the story of the game and not so much the game itself, but the game itself is really beautifully included into the story.
It really is.
Yeah,
and
like
it's an underdog story.
Yeah, like with Tetris, where they included here this car race and so on here in the city in Russia, and you had the feeling, oh, it's like Tetris architecture or whatever, but this time they included it even better. because it never took you out of the story, and to use also the point of view from the driver, that he puts it in his head, like the game compares the game to the reality. I thought this was really great. I was really entertained. This is the only movie where I really was entertained this time.
Well, hey, we got one movie that you like.
Yeah,
So that's a big victory.
This gets definitely a thumbs up from me.
Yay! Man, it took the whole show, but we got a thumbs up out of Cub.
Yeah, and let's see how it does at the
That's
box office,
reason for
because
celebration.
It is.
Yeah.
it started just this week, by the way. It's out since 2 days or since 1 day. So because they pulled back the American release, in Germany it came out a little bit earlier. But
The Germans always get to see stuff first. Why is that?
yeah, for some reason I don't know. And but officially it starts this week. So and I'm really curious how if it can make some box office, because it's probably the best movie. It's even I would say it is the only interesting movie that is out now in these months.
Other than Meg 2 and the other movies we mentioned that are so awesome.
Yeah, all the other crap. Yeah.
Hey, you love the Kraken. You can't say you didn't like the Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken was the only good thing in Meg 2. And Meg 1, I can't tell you anything about Meg 1. I completely forgot that one.
Good, forgot the eating the giant bubble on the surface. How can you forget Meg 1? So good. Okay, it wasn't that great, but it was a summer popcorn movie, a shark movie. Come on, you got to learn to sit back and sometimes just enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should always.
If they go back to practical effects, I'm going to do that. But with the CGI crap, no thanks.
I agree with you on practical effects. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes the CGI is necessary in an environment like when you're out on the ocean. I give them a pass, although reluctantly, because I don't like giving out passes. I only have a few.
Yeah, and we saw that in Jaws. They needed so much CGI back then in the first Jaws movie.
The shark isn't working. The reason why, one of the main reasons why the movie worked so well is because they didn't have so much of the shark. If that stupid mechanical shark had been working, I don't think it would have been a great movie.
Yeah, I know. We saw it working in Jaws 2.
Right, and it was bad.
Yeah,
it was a bad movie. But if you saw my review of the book of Jaws 2, the original screenplay was much better than what we got. For instance, when the two women are out doing skiing, right? And it's a famous scene from the poster and from the opening of the book. And the shark comes up and just eats the woman. Well, that's not how it goes in the book. In the book, you've got like this guy and a girl, and he's like this high dollar guy who's and he's very intelligent, and he sees the fin come up behind his girl, but he can't do anything except lay on the speed because the shark is right behind her. And what do you do? What do you do? How do you save your girl that you love? And it turns out that the shark outsmarts him on the way. He's going to try and run her right up onto the beach. And the shark cuts him off. He eats his girl. And the guy goes crazy and ends up blowing up his boat trying to kill the shark. But in the movie, it's nothing like that. And the girl gets eaten and barely even noticed. And then the other girl pours gasoline on herself and blows herself up. And that is not how the book goes. The book is excellent. The movie sucks.
Yeah, no, and the movie is from Janot Swartz, if you can remember. It's the director of Supergirl. By the way,
man, I really thought when I watched the latest movie the Flash, and you had the 1984 Supergirl, you know, and you had Nick Cage. Man, Cub was right. When I saw the Nick Cage scene, it fired me up. And when I saw the 1950s Superman, and I always thought they screwed over my girl from the 84 Supergirl show. They just wrote her a bad movie. If they had written a good movie, that character could have been great.
Yeah,
It wasn't her fault.
I agree on that. And this Janot Swartz guy, he is really had no luck with his movies. He's a French guy, and maybe his most famous movie is Santa Claus from 1985.
Oh wow!
Which was also a bomb. I think he
Of
just
course.
made bombs. He just made bombs. I think. The only not bomb is Jaws 2. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of our list. We're through. Do you want to
Yeah,
end the
so-
show, or what do you want to do?
I would say let's end it here. Let's end it on a high note. So
Right? Hey, we got a recommendation out of Cub. That's a rare
Yeah.
thing.
It
So
is.
I would say thank you for joining us here. Thanks, Kat. Thanks, Basil, and thanks, Greg, and also thanks to the audience who could listen for hours to our
Right?
uh,
Oh my God,
rants here.
our poor audience.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys. Thanks so much.
and I would say see you next time.
Okay, so saying goodbye from Texas, Ohio, and deep in the heart of an undisclosed spot in Germany, we're going to end the show.
Yep.
Take care, guys. It's been fun.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Halloween.